Ladies and gentlemen, it's Saturday night, so let me talk to you. NXT just put on their final show of the year, NXT Deadline. But was it a good show? We're going to talk about it. And we're going to get you caught up on all the news and rumors that happened in pro wrestling this week, including one superstar, one former WWE champion that is going through a gimmick change. All that and so much more coming up. Sit back, relax, grab a drink, and the show starts now.
Right on. So yeah, deadline happened. What'd you think of the show overall?
Um, Overall, I actually thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
I I thought, based off of what happens on the TV show, I thought this was just going to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But I have I have no big complaints. You know, I didn't do any ratings for it because it is developmental after all.
Mm.
But
Oh well, I did.
you you can tell that there's going you can tell there's some stars there or some potential stars.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll agree with you there. The last NXT pay-per-view I saw was one of the takeovers, and so right off the bat, like I noticed that like the presentation of is completely different. Like I don't know, like Triple H would start like, oh, in the beginning, Vince created the WWE universe with the little spotlight, and then the lights would turn on, and then you'd see the crowd, and they all cheer. This just kind of started. The entrances were very lackluster, and especially for WWE, that's like their thing is the entrances. So and I know it's developmental, but I don't know. The last time I saw NXT, it was this big fucking spectacle, and then this wasn't.
Well, that was black and gold. That's what we miss.
This is black and gold
This
too.
No, no, it's not. You just said it yourself. This is not black and gold.
Yeah.
This is NXT, but this is not black and gold. This is this is like, I don't know. We'll just call it NXT 3.0.
3.0. Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
like a mix. It's a mix of, and it's mostly NXT 2.0, especially like um I hate the this performance center that they're in.
I kind of
I
like
think
it.
that's the biggest thing.
I like how it's like a step above it's like a nice little medium between the studio wrestling and arena, like have being in an arena. Because the
Yeah,
studio wrestling, you got like the 4 rows of bleachers and the 6 people cheering, and that's cool to an extent.
that's what we got here.
But this, I don't know, it's like it's almost like the ECW type vibe. That
Maybe if were more people in it, like it was more open,
I don't
I
know.
would
They
like it more. I like the old, like where the original NXT. I like where it was. Maybe the difference was they had the dark light on it, so you couldn't really see the whole thing. Maybe that's the difference.
maybe I don't know. I would take this crowd over just about any Raw or SmackDown crowd I've seen recently.
Oh yeah, I mean these crowd. Let's not get it twisted here. These fans are idiots, but they are better than the Raw crowds, and they are idiots. They chant like they chant "This is awesome" at things that aren't
Well,
like.
so does the Raw and SmackDown crowd.
Oh yeah, it is
That's
definitely an overused chant. Now it's just more to like appreciate a, I don't know, appreciate. It's more to appreciate the
something
sequence.
routine. Yeah, it's just whatever. But yeah, I did. There was one surprise for me. There's one not surprise. Um, and then yeah, for the most part, it was kind of lackluster. But the stuff that I liked, I really liked. But we can just kind of dive into it if you want.
Yeah, so we started the show off with the Iron Survivor. What is it? Iron Survivor Challenge
Iron Survivor Challenge, yeah.
match for the women.
Yep.
Um, this match included Cora Jade, Zoe Stark, Andy Hartwell, uh, Roxanne Perez, and Kiana James. I think that's all of them. Yes, that is all of them. I'm going to be honest here. Due to some technical difficulties, aka I wasn't at home yet, I didn't get to see the start of this match. I didn't get to see most of this match. I saw the ending. I saw who won. I didn't like the ending. Um, I liked who won. Roxanne, if I spoil it, Roxanne Perez won. Um, so I agree with that, but I don't like how she won it. The fact that she was basically she basically lucked out and won, as opposed to like a dominant win or like a win at the buzzer or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. She doesn't. She just look like. She looks like Austin Theory.
Roxanne Perez?
Yeah, how he kind of lucked into winning the U.S. championship, or is that
Yeah,
about it? Or
yeah.
okay.
But the difference is he's heel, she's not.
Well,
She's
yeah.
a babyface.
Well, just take it for face value. Don't look too deep into it. Jeez.
But I did see some highlights. I know that Kiana James, she definitely stood out in the match. Um, and then the match was basically built around Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez finishing their feud or continuing their feud. They have like a fight for everything kind of building. Um, Cora Jade, by the way, Triple H said that he sees the next Sasha Banks in her, worth noting. And just worth pointing that out. So they're already trying to replace Sasha Banks because they know they ain't getting her back. We'll talk about that later. And then you have Indy, Hartwell, Zoe Stark. They were also in the match. I don't really care too much for Zoe Stark, I'll be honest. She doesn't really have like a personality. She doesn't have a character at all.
Okay.
And then Indy Hartwell, um, she was kind of just there. You know, I thought I thought going in she might win, but it seems like they just had her there as I don't know to kind of help the other women.
Okay.
But yeah, Kiana James was the standout. She is a standout of NXT, and that's all I could really.
All right.
Again, I didn't get to see the match, so
Well, I'm going to
um,
be is equally honest. I said that I am only going to watch one of these convoluted matches, and if there's going to be one of them, it's going to be the men's match. So I skipped this. I did catch the last few minutes as well. Or, excuse me, I caught the beginning and I caught the last few minutes. Now keep in mind, I don't know who any of these people are. Anybody. Um, I know who Apollo Crews is, and I know who Braun Breaker is, and obviously New Day, and I've heard of Pretty Deadly. That's pretty much it. So I'm going in this. I'm going in this with virgin eyes. Um,
which is good.
yeah.
There's
Uh,
no like pre-existing. I don't know what the word is there. Biases.
right. Right. Exactly. So I thought Zoe Stark was the most legitimate looking one out of all of them. She looked like the most like a wrestler. Um, when she started off the match, she did that move where the wrestlers do where they tug the ropes, like they get into a sequence and then they break away and then they get their shit back together and they kind of lean against the pull, put their weight against the ropes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most I've never seen I don't see the dudes do that, let alone I don't know. It was really legitimate. I don't know about her um like her move set because it was a whole bunch of ladies, but from what I saw, it was okay. But yeah, I didn't want to watch it, so I wanted to do other things. I did catch the last few minutes of it. Um, she still looked legit. I don't know why she would have wasted time climbing the rope at that last when she had that advantage at the last minute. I think it was when the last penalty box person came out, and her and somebody else were the only ones in the ring. And she, instead of like doing something else, she wasted time climbing the rope when she could have just pinned her and got the win, but she didn't. And then of course the one that looks like a Barbie won.
Roxanne.
Sure.
Roxy. Um,
The one that looks like just like any other diva that's walked through WWE. There's nothing
well,
special about her.
they are big on Roxy. I will say, and I keep calling her Roxy. That was her. She was the last ROH Women's Champion before they closed shop.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Um, it doesn't need to. I'm just telling you
Oh, okay.
information.
Sorry.
And I'm t right now. I'm talking to the people who would know. So she was the last ROH Women's World Champion. And then they closed shop, so now she's in WWE. She was Booker T's student. They kept putting that over,
Oh, is that why
and
Booker 2 is crying?
yeah,
Okay. Really? Really? He's gonna cry over Roxy?
yeah, because she won
Surely,
the match. Not the
surely he,
championship, by the way, just the match.
yeah,
She
surely he
just
has
won
other
a number
students that
one
have done
contender.
better. He ain't a very good instructor if that's the case. If
Well,
Roxy's if Roxy's his peak thus far.
um, I don't know. I couldn't really tell you. I don't. I don't spend a lot of time. Although he does. Apparently, he did wrestle at his little school recently, so he still wrestles there.
That's good. He can take Roxy with him.
But I
They
don't
can
know
be
what
tag
that has to do with
champions
anything.
forever and ever. I thought Zoe Stark. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know their promos. I don't know like what program she's in. I don't know like how she's booked. I just know that she looked like the most legitimate in the ring.
Yeah, and I will say, um, I said I don't like Zoe Stark. Wrestling wise, she is good. I just don't. She just doesn't have a character, or maybe she does, and it didn't connect with me. I
Okay.
don't really know what her character is. She just turned heel recently. Um, yeah,
Not
she
that it
just doesn't really have a character.
not that it matters, but is she a white chick?
I don't know.
Okay. I couldn't tell like if she had dyed hair and she was light skinned or if she if she was a light skinned black chick or if she was a dark skinned white chick or if she was something else. Not that it matters.
Yeah,
She just
I
she just
don't
had a
know. She's
unique
definitely
she had an exotic look, I would say.
yeah, she's definitely not black. She's not one of us.
Okay.
She's not in the she's not in the clique.
Okay.
She is
Are you looking it up?
no. I was just gonna, I don't know. She might be I don't know Hispanic maybe
Okay.
maybe just or that might just be because she puts on the tan and it makes her look Hispanic.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
But that but that hair is real, so she ain't.
Gotcha. Fair enough. But yeah, all the other girls, they all look the same. Like you could copy and paste them with any girl on the main roster. There's nothing unique about them. I just thought Zoe kind of popped out. But again, didn't watch the whole match, so I didn't really have a dog in the fight beyond that. I did, or anything else with the ladies?
uh, no. So again, Roxanne Perez wins the Iron Woman challenge.
Yeah.
She gets the right to challenge Mandy Rose for the title. Um, I want to say that she is going to win the title, and then that's going to be when they call Mandy Rose back up to the main roster. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense that they put all this emphasis on this Iron Survivor thing, if
Okay.
not to like pay it off with, this Iron Survivor won the title. You know, like if they go and lose, then it was really all for nothing.
Okay. Sure. I'll take your word for it. I I don't know. She's just a tiny non-athletic looking lady.
There you
When you
go.
could have when
Moving
you could have
on.
had a Zoe Stark, who looks like a legitimate athlete. I don't know. Sorry. Go ahead, move on.
Moving on, our second match of the evening, we had Isla Dawn, right, versus Alba Fire.
Yeah, I was calling her Isla. And then they finally said, "Oh yeah."
Well, I was just making sure that I didn't miss a
No,
match in between
yeah,
that. So yeah,
Alba Alba Fire, Isla Dawn.
yes, and this was a one-on-one match. Honestly, this match could have taken place on TV. Like they could have just put a main event match on or something. But it was on the Deadline show. If I got two things to say here. Number one, this was a pretty good match,
Okay,
and number two, I think Isla Dawn has that it factor. She has that star power. She's going to be a star.
okay,
I don't know if it's just the character she's playing. Well, I do know that's what it is. Not that it's the character she's playing, but the fact that she is a character, it makes her stand out. Like you said, the women in the Iron Challenge match, they were just like cookie cutter. But you got Isla Dawn, she's like a character.
uh-huh.
I like that. So was Alba Fire. I mean, I guess she's a character. She's not really a character, but she's a character with all the fire and the baseball bat shit. Um, but yeah, Aladon, she looks like she is going to be a breakout. Uh, this was a good match between the two. Should I talk about the ending already?
um, I mean, yeah, if you want. I mean, I'll wait till go ahead and do your thing, and then I'll give my thoughts.
Okay, so picking up to how this match ended, because I know this is the source of controversy. Some people are gonna like it, some people are not. So in this match, we have Alba Fire. She's about to get the win. She gets Isla Dawn down for a swanton. Before she hits the swanton, Isla Dawn, she grabs the ref's leg, and I guess she put a hex on him. We're gonna get back to that in a moment. So, so she grabs the ref's leg. He launches away. People thought that she was trying to grab the ref or something. Um, and then the ref gets out of frame. Alba Fire, she hits the swanton bomb. She goes for the pin, and then we pan over to the ref who's spitting up black goo because Dawn, in that moment that she touched him, put a hex on him, and then that caused him to spit up black goo. They said it was coming from his nose as well. I didn't see that part. If it was, my God, if he deserves an Oscar if it was. We then have refs. They run down to more refs. They run down to the ramp to check on the ref who's spitting up black goo. In this fray, Aladon she throws Alba Fire into an exposed turnbuckle. She then gets possessed, and her eyes roll in the back of her head before her finisher. Before her finisher, she hits the finisher, gets the win.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
So, go ahead.
Well, again, I don't know who any of these people are, and I'll be honest with you. When Alba Fire started, oh, I come from a long line of Scottish warriors, and I had to fire the ancestors and burn in the lakes of Minnetonka and bathe in blood and oil and all that stuff. That kind of turned me off. Um,
I didn't hear that part,
yeah, it was
but
like
that sounds like part of what she does. Yeah.
it was part of the video package. I didn't know really what to make of Viola Dawn at first, with the Ouija boards and there's a lot of Bray Wyatt. I know that seems to be. I don't know what her past is or where she came from, um, as far as other promotions. So I don't know if like this is something that she's done for years and years and years, or if she just started and you know that's kind of the
From
inspiration she took,
from what I know, she was in NXT Europe. Um,
which isn't that old.
yeah, I don't know any like this was the second time I've seen her, so and
Okay.
the other time was the interference, so I don't really know anything about her beyond she was in NXT Europe.
Okay. Um, so the match started, and Alba Fire is fucking awesome. She kind of reminds me of Sarah Connor from the Terminator. Like she's not the biggest dog in the yard, but she'll punch you in the face and she can take a punch
Hmm.
type lady. Um, there was a there was a spot where she did that flip off the top rope outside the ring. She did it without hesitation. I think she was on the mat, then she got up and she just climbed the buckle and just dove. She didn't wait for like, the perfect little timing and that goofy shit like most of the people do. Not
Right.
just not just the women. Most of the people do. They just fucking wait. But no, she just dove. She didn't care if I maybe it was that it was timed that perfectly that she knew. I mean, obviously, but she didn't. I mean, yeah, there's very little room for error there, at least to my unwrestled eye. Um, I personally think that Isla Dawn needs to lose the stupid facials. She does the little crazy laughing shit, and like we already have Nikki Cross on the main roster.
Okay.
Um,
What about the orgasm before her finisher?
we'll get there. I I, I think overall she kind of looks ridiculous. She kind of looks like her clothes look like it's from a thrift store. She looks like a discount Pennywise the clown. Um, she does the little laughing and stuff. I kind of like the mist gimmick just because it's the mist gimmick, but I kind of wonder if they get paid extra for getting spit on in the face, especially if it goes in
I
their
don't know,
mouth.
but
Like some of it got in my mouth, man. That's kind of weird.
you shouldn't have your mouth open to get it in there.
Well, you're running around in a wrestling ring. You're gonna be huffing and puffing. You can't help it.
But I always, yeah, like getting the spit in your mouth is always. You got it. Like I'd break character. You got it in my mouth. You
No,
spit in my
don't.
mouth.
Just leave. I don't want to play anymore.
Like,
But
don't even like sell it. Just immediately run out the ring. Water, give me water. It's in my mouth.
yeah, clearly you were more enamored with Isla Dawn than I was. The spooky shit with the ref. Um, you could have completely taken all of that bullshit out and still had that finish with the turnbuckle because that was a phenomenal finish. I haven't seen that good of a finish in ages.
I didn't even see her take the turnbuckle off.
Yeah, she did it at the I forgot she took it off. That's how great it was. She took it off, and that's so old school. Like remember when like they put the chair in the turnbuckle and they tease throwing it in, but then they'd reverse it and then they go into the match and then like at the very end they throw him in
Yeah, it comes
there.
into play.
Yeah, that's just total attitude era finish. It was perfect. What you didn't need was the spooky shit with the referee. That did
You didn't
nothing.
like the goo.
It didn't make any. It didn't do anything. You could have. You
She
could have
put a
done
hex on him. It caused.
stupid.
It caused. She put a hex on him to cause a distraction to not lose the match.
She could have done so. She could have done so many other like distraction finishes with the ref, or I don't know. I don't know. I think you could just take it out. You
Yeah,
kind
and
of
I
lost
get
me
that.
there.
I get that a lot of people would have a problem with it. I, for one, I'm into the I don't know supernatural power characters like Papa Shango, Kane, Undertaker, Rising with the Urn. I'm into those kind of characters.
Here's the thing, though. They were both, and as ridiculous as Isla Dawn looked, she can wrestle. So they were having a really good match, and so you
They
ruined
were,
it
yeah.
with that spooky bullshit.
I don't know, it just gives her character.
I guess
Um,
it's a dumb
Now
character.
I could see, and if you didn't like that, you're really, well, you might not care, but you know, Bray Wyatt always has like Abby the Witch as like one of the Firefly Funhouse character. Or she's one of, if as Ellie Knight says, one of Bray Wyatt's toys. Abby the Witch.
Well, it
I
seems
could
like
see Isla Dawn being Abby the Witch. Of course, she would need to, do black hair, but
there were a couple people auditioning for the Wyatt squad.
yeah. And we don't even know if there are more members.
Right.
Although there might be, because when we talk about SmackDown, there was something that stuck out.
Okay.
But
But yeah,
definitely,
um, I thought Alba Fire that it almost would it probably would have been the match of the night for me if it wasn't for that bullshit finish with the referee. I like the finish with the turnbuckle. That was perfect. I just think you could have done something other than make him puke up spooky blood.
okay.
It,
So that's two matches in, and
yep.
I would say two pretty decent, match-wise, pretty definitely decent matches.
One was phenomenal.
So
I didn't watch the other one,
yeah.
so I can't. I don't know if it was a good match or not. I just from the 2 minutes that I saw, I think the wrong person. I think the wrong person won. How's that for
Well,
armchair quarterbacking?
yeah. Um, there was something though that, you know, Isla Dawn, she's a creepy character, and then you have,
See that's the thing though. She's not that creepy. You can I don't she's phony. You can tell she's playing a character.
I don't know, when someone starts messing with Ouija boards, it kind
Please.
of, it's like, get away from me.
And I couldn't tell she was.
Don't you bring that evil over here.
Apparently she's Scottish too, which was kind of cool, I guess. Which kind of makes me wonder if all the good women wrestlers are not American, because that backstage thing with all those ladies, like all of them were
Uh-huh.
bad actors.
Oh, I didn't see.
There's
I don't know
just
what you're talking about.
very unbelievable. But it's just whenever whenever somebody does that laughing thing, the ha ha ha, it's just phony. You can tell that that's not nobody does that. Nobody does that in real life. You never see people walking down the street going ha 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 ha. And if they do, they're stabbing somebody, and you need to call the police.
See, they're playing a crazy person.
See, they're
But
playing. I just mm-mm.
well, they're all playing. This is wrestling. You're playing a character. You're
You
not.
could
You think Ric Flair was well? Never mind.
exactly play something believable.
Um, but yeah, I, I noticed that there's something here though. So we got Isla Dawn. Just go with me here. Creepy character. Rhea Ripley. Creepy character. Liv Morgan. Uh, she was a creepy character. I don't know if she still
No.
is. Creepy character. Valhalla. Creepy character. I think Triple H might have a thing for like the goth girls.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Wyatt was going to be like some weird supernatural pimp.
Oh, what? No.
Well,
Well,
I
no.
thought
I
you were
was
going to
just saying.
suggest that they were all going to be part of his little faction.
No, I was
Oh,
just
okay.
saying. Like Vince McMahon, he always brought in the blondes with the big tits. Well, now Triple H got all these girls playing these goth characters, creepy goth characters. So maybe that's his thing. Is like he likes the goth chicks.
Possibly. He does
And
like
then you got
the
Stephanie.
metal stuff.
You know, you got Stephanie McMahon. She's the CEO of a company, so obviously she's dominant over him.
Yeah, Rowan
You know,
should with us.
he probably,
Okay.
she probably steps on him or some.
Jesus Christ.
It's,
Gets the glass table. Yeah.
yeah, she 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 probably does the humiliation thing. He's like, "Oh, tell me I'm bad.
You might be onto
Tell me I'm
something.
suck."
I thought he had a thing for because didn't he bring in Dana Brooke?
I
I
don't
just
know.
I just thought he had a thing for chicks that worked out.
Well, he should. I mean, it's wrestling,
Right, but I
but
mean the ones that like really work out, not the ones that I saw Sheamus's little Celtic warrior workout with some of the ladies. With their little what I do is I do shake weight for 5 minutes.
what?
I call them my shakesies.
Who did the shake weight?
Liv Morgan.
I bet she did.
She
That's
didn't.
probably
She didn't. I
that's
made
probably
that up just in case there's a whole bunch of people want to. Ah, no, you fucking liar.
I was gonna say that's probably
But
why that video is like on its way to 1 million views because she's shake weighting.
shake weighting. God.
Probably
But
probably got
like,
the camera above her so she can shake weight, and then she's got it like pointed at her face and stuff.
well, Sasha Banks had rubber bands or something. She's like, I'll use these rubber bands. Okay.
But yeah, that's anyway. That was just my little observation that Triple H might have a thing for the goth. There's nothing
Possibly.
wrong with it. I mean,
No,
they
not at
are
all.
pretty hot,
I
but
appreciate it.
there we are.
All right.
Vince
So
had
that,
his blondes. Triple H has his goths.
but I think he brought in Dana Brooke. So I don't know, I think he just likes. I just think he likes ladies. Although he'd be really dumb to. Can you imagine? He works his way all the way up to where he is now. He's been waiting for Vince to finally step down or kick the bucket, and he's arrived, and then he decides to cheat on Stephanie.
I know he wouldn't do that. He'd be an idiot.
Yeah, he'd be stupid.
Throw it all away.
Right.
Like, come on, you'd be out. You wouldn't be head of creative. There ain't no badge that is that important.
No, not at all. Anyway, so next up we have Bizarro Milli Vanilli versus New Day, and I have
Translation that would be Pretty Deadly versus New Day.
I have a major issue with maybe a major issue with this match, but we'll get to it. Um, Obviously the New Day come out. I kind of wish they still had their little Power Ranger outfit on from Smackdown, but because that was the only interesting thing that they've done in a while. Um, then the Pretty Deadly came out with their titty shirts. Looked like the blonde one specifically oiled his titties.
He probably did. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I was actually sitting there thinking, because the match started, and I was thinking, you know what? They're kind of a good old school tag team, and I was starting to kind of get it. Then the blonde one throws Kofi into the ropes, but then Kofi does this little flip thing into a twerk. Then out of
Oh, the
nowhere,
torque off.
yes. Then that prompted the blonde one to do a twerk of his own. And then as you stated, they did a twerk off. The announcers even called it twerk off. So it was at that moment I decided to walk away and do other things because if they're not going to take it seriously, I'm certainly not either. It's a championship match. Why the fuck are you twerking? Like they were just saying like, oh, we want to be Triple Crown champions. You're gonna fucking twerk off in the fucking middle of a championship match. Now I'm almost done. Um, did New Day win or lose?
They won.
Okay, how competitive was it?
It's pretty competitive.
Okay, didn't
Here
the
you
new
go. This is
what?
this was my thought. So go ahead.
Okay, because yeah, didn't the New Day just wrestle the Usos not too long ago? Wasn't it like last week or the week before that?
Yes.
And they kind of took them to the limit, right?
Yes.
And the Usos are the number one tag team, and at least in WWE, that world.
Yes.
So Pretty Deadly took a team that took the number one tag team, Pretty Deadly being in the developmental, took a team that took the number one team to the limit. So
Yes.
are we to believe that you see where I'm going with this?
Yes, and this is exactly what I was my overarching thing with this match. Like
Okay.
you have the New Day, the longest reigning or the second longest reigning now tag team champions on the main roster. They just took the Usos, the best tag team, to the limit, and then you're here in developmental and you're struggling against these guys.
Right. If this were real, just think about it. How bad do the Usos look right now?
Well,
Because theoretically, if Francis Ngannou was to go to the UFC fighter house, you know what I mean? Like he should walk right all through them.
right.
He's not gonna he's not gonna have like a super competitive match. He's supposed to just run right through them.
Right.
That so again, if it were real, the developmental tag team champions wouldn't last 5 minutes with somebody that can take the number one tag team in the fucking WWE to the limit.
Talk your talk, because I don't even disagree with you.
What is this bullshit?
Yeah, I can't even disagree with you on that one.
I don't get it. So the New Day won? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay. So I mean, at least that happened. Because God forbid, I thought for sure that they would lose, which made me even angrier. But at least they won. So that
yeah. I'm thinking like, well, how are they gonna? Because I'm thinking during the match, they can't beat the New Day clean. Like,
right.
because again, 2 weeks ago they just took the Usos to the limit. So you're gonna come to NXT and lose clean to a developmental team? You can't.
Well, even then, they're developmental. The Usos are main roster heels. They're again the number one team. They should be better heels. They should know like all the tactics. Like, there's nothing that the Bizarro Milli Vanilli can do that the New Day of all teams haven't seen before. So even if they did cheat, the match shouldn't have lasted more than 5 minutes.
Right.
But at least they didn't shit on the Usos after pissing in their mouth. That's great. Any oh, any other thoughts on? I'm done.
Well, yeah, I'd like a turn. So up until this point, I thought this was easily the match of the night.
Really?
It went as far as
You made it
so
past the twerk off?
even better. I didn't see the torque off.
Oh, okay.
You get there's a lot of
my
commonality in this.
my finger was on the presser as soon as the Bizarro Milli Vanilli came out. If I'm being honest, I,
Like you
I
see, well, there's a lot of commonality. I missed a lot of things during the show. Because again, Peacock doesn't let you rewind it. So if you miss something, you miss something. I did come to later find out that, and this might help someone out there who has Peacock. If you have it on the actual channel, or like, let's say you're watching the pay-per-view, you got to get up and walk away. As long as you don't turn the TV off or you know, exit out of the live stream, you can then rewind it. I didn't find this out until after the show was over, so it didn't help me here. But um, yeah, I had to get up for a second, so I missed the twerk off. I did see it on Twitter that they did have the twerk off. Um, Booker T wasn't funny in what I heard from it. And he was talking about, this is a tag team match. This is for the championship, and you're twerking. That's when Kofi Kingston did it, and then when Blondie started twerking, he's like, "What are you gonna?" The Vic Joseph's like, "What are you gonna say now?" He's like, "He's just showing him how it's done." And then you have Kofi Kingston get on the ground and start twerking. I actually laughed at all this, and
okay.
it, um, once we get past that, um, yeah,
Wow.
this was a pretty competitive match. There was a moment where I forgot I was watching NXT. I thought I was watching like the main roster. Uh, so I'll give Pretty Deadly credit because I'm not a fan of their gimmick whatsoever. I think the gimmick is just top tier terrible, and not because of what they're playing. It's just I don't like the gimmick. It doesn't resonate with me. I think they can tweak the gimmick, but
They
the
can
two
at least not
guys,
wear the tit shirts.
yeah,
I thought that was just
and
entrance attire. Why would you wear that? Like, I don't know. Why would you
and on top
accentuate
of
your
that,
male
the shirt
breasts?
was see through.
Yes. It was like they borrowed Seth Rollins's shirts from Becky.
Well, at least Seth Rollins' shirt was full.
It was still see through.
I know, but it was full.
That's because
Like,
Bizarro Milli Vanilli had the ones that weren't.
you gotta, I don't know. It's not even a shirt. It's like, like what? In what world? Let's take the wrestling thing out of it. In what world does a designer make that and someone buy that? Like what occasion are you buying that for in a real world scenario?
I have no clue.
Well, I guess maybe
Maybe,
if you're a stripper,
maybe.
the like, not the stripper, but the cocktail waitress who wants to show them off, but and then they try to tell you, "Oh, don't touch me. Oh, you can't touch me."
What the
It's
fuck are
like,
you
well, where
talking about?
you try you try and act all high and mighty, but you dress provocative.
Sir, don't follow me into the bathroom.
You can't wait by my car. I'm just
God
yeah.
damn.
Why are you? Oh, he's behind the trash can again. Security. No, I just want to help you get to your car. I thought we had a connection when you were giving me. I thought you loved me. But yeah, that's. I guess that's the only scenario you get that kind of a shirt.
Right on. um,
But yeah, they put on a good match. There was like I said, there was moments where I forgot I was watching NXT. I thought it was like a main roster match, because of how well they were working together. I don't know if that's the New Day or if Pretty Deadly's that good. Um, if they are, they're main roster bound. They should just be on the main roster. They got to lose that gimmick though. There was a spot in this match that was pretty creative, I thought. Um, so there's a spot where the ref gets distracted. You have one of the Pretty Deadly guys. They go out and grab the titles. They bring the titles in the ring. Um, and then since the ref is distracted, he's like keeping Xavier Woods on the apron. No, sorry. Oh, I guess it doesn't make sense now. Okay, so just picture this: the ref is distracted, keeping Kofi Kingston outside of the ring. Pretty Deadly guy. He brings the title into the match. He throws the title over to Xavier Woods, and then he hits the ground, making the noise, right? Kind of
oh,
like
so
the Eddie Guerrero
yeah, yeah,
finisher.
yeah.
Before the ref turns around, Xavier Woods then throws the title to the other guy on Pretty Deadly's team, and then he falls and hits the mat.
So
Still
yes,
before the ref.
so it's the
Still before.
yeah, it's the double Eddie Guerrero thing.
Yeah. Still before the ref turns around. I forgot what happened to the ref, but something happens to where Kofi Kingston now is in the ring. Oh, I think like he was at this point he was grabbed because they brought in both titles. So at this point he's getting the other title out of the ring. So Kofi Kingston's now in the ring. Guy from Pretty Deadly. So we have one guy from Pretty Deadly on the ground, Xavier Woods on the ground. Now the other guy's holding the title. He throws it to Kofi Kingston, and he hits the ground. And then Kofi Kingston drops the title. He hits the ground, and then the ref turns around, and they're all four laying on the ground with the title in between them. So it was like, I don't know, it was pretty creative.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
And then yeah, so they tried to Eddie Guerrero, but it backfired because everybody fell out. So um, and then yeah, we go. The ref's like, I'm not calling this match. I'm not calling this match. And then everybody has to get up, and then that leads to the finish. And as we stated, The New Day are now NXT Tag Team Champions.
Well, what was the finish?
Um, um, I think it was Midnight Hour. Just basically New Day hitting their finisher.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a definitive finish.
Gotcha.
Um, my thing. So again, this is a good match. My thing with this though is where do we go from here? Because now we have the New Day, the what are they, 9-time tag team champions? Or yeah, 9-time SmackDown tag team champions. I think they've had like 15 total titles, they said, or something like that, maybe 16. And now they're on developmental. Like, and then also, because again, this was a team who just took, um, they just took the Usos to the limit. So now, what developmental team is going to come in and beat the New Day for the titles? I don't think they thought that far. And then also, does that mean the New Day is exclusive to NXT now? Or then they're gonna be on SmackDown? I guess it gives them something to do since they shouldn't really be chasing the Usos right now. And
Who is chasing the Usos?
no, they got the uh currently no one because
Okay.
they just beat Sheamus and Butch.
All right.
But I forgot they got their little feud. They haven't had the traditional tag team match against Imperium. Maybe that's where they go. Maybe Imperium wins the tag titles for NXT on SmackDown. I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. Where do you go with this? There's not really there's you can't believe that a developmental team is going to come and beat the New Day.
Well, if they do, obviously they'd have to cheat, but they'd have to cheat pretty hardcore. Yeah, it's just
Either cheat or someone from the main roster that furthers the feud interferes.
yeah. I'm not a big fan
Or
of how
maybe,
Shawn Michaels put shit together from from this display at least.
and also ba- back to what you remember when I was talking about Kevin Owens wrestling house shows, and now you're gonna have New Day wrestling now. Completely different scenarios. New Day is not in like the top storyline in the company right now, so I guess there's a difference there. But you're gonna risk them getting hurt against these developmental talents
Well,
when they should be saved for the main roster.
I don't know. Maybe this is leading to Bizarro Milli Vanilli getting to the main roster because maybe they chased New Day to the main roster to SmackDown
Yeah, I could see that.
because
Um,
like you said they looked main event ready aside from the fucking twerking off, and I was ready to like the match. Um, and if you're gonna have if if your goal is to make them better or to make the tag division better, I don't think aside from the Usos, obviously, there's not really another tag team that you could send over there to help teach other than Kofi and Xavier.
yeah, I guess so.
And
But
they all like work one day a week anyway, aside from Sami Zayn.
true. So yeah, there we have it. New Day, new tag team champions for NXT.
All right. So after that, some chicks I don't know talked shit to some other chicks I don't know backstage. Then some other chicks I don't know started a brawl. Then Cisco stopped the girls from beating the hell out of each other.
Okay.
All right. Um, the,
uh, I get. Oh, I can't even. I can't even translate because I don't know who the black guys were. but
I don't either. That's why it's like,
I know who the ladies were, oddly enough.
okay.
Well, most of them. So,
I do know
redhead,
the goth chicks were awful. They you could I don't know. They
well,
shouldn't
the
speak.
redhead and the other lady she was with, they were part of Toxic Attraction. That's Mandy Rose's group. They actually used to be the tag team champions. That is, God, I'm blanking on their names. Gigi
See?
Dolan and JC Jane, JC James, JC Jane. I don't know, whichever one. And then one of one of the other girls, she was Ivy Nile. She's part of Diamond Mine. I don't know who the other chick was. And then I don't know who the black guys were. But it if I had to something to say on this segment, oddly enough, I do have something to say. It didn't make sense. Okay, from what I heard, the the ladies asked the dudes if they wanted to go out, right? And then they said no because we have some drinking to do. Is that what they said? So they wanted to go do drinking, but then they didn't want to take the ladies with them.
I don't know. I really
Like that
didn't.
didn't make sense to me.
A lot didn't make sense.
Well, maybe I guess it could make sense, you know. But
You know what?
maybe maybe the kind of bar they're going to, they don't need women.
You know what doesn't make sense?
What?
A little tiny girl that looks like a mime brushing her hand incidentally against a referee's leg, and then he pukes up a little sludge. That doesn't make sense.
Well, there you go.
All right, moving on. We have the
Next up,
men's.
we have the men's Iron Survivor match. Participants include, sorry, let me get it pulled up here. We had Axiom, JD McDonough, Carmelo Hayes, Joe Gacy, and Grayson Waller.
Uh
I don't
huh.
know why I had to say it like that, but there we go.
That's how I hear it too.
Um,
So whatever.
Grayson Waller is his name. Uh, kind of dollar store Miz, I would say. Um,
I got Miz Logan Paul vibes.
yeah, I could see that. This match, it was good. It wasn't the clusterfuck that I thought it would be. And again, I missed the women's one, so this was kind of my introduction into the whole Iron Survivor thing. Um, there were some spots that I did like. Well, actually, if I'm being honest, I enjoyed most of the match. Um, some of the highlight spots, I would say, is I liked, and I wanted to, and I almost wrote down that there was a missed opportunity, but then they kind of took advantage of it. There was a point where McDonough and Axiom, they both got pinned at the same, like pretty much the same time. So they both then have to go into the penalty box. And what I was going to write down is they were both in the penalty box. You could have had a spot where they're fighting for that 90 seconds in the penalty box. They ended up fighting towards the end of it. Um, so I took that off. But I did enjoy that you have two people in the penalty box and they're not just like, you know, playing grab ass or whatever. They're actually fighting in there.
Right.
Um,
And it sounds
and
like
then there
they have a
was,
beef anyway, so it makes sense.
yeah, so this the whole match kind of was them continuing their feud. Um, and then there was a lot of moments where they're fighting each other. JD McDonough didn't get a pin, fall, or submission, so he had zero. Axiom had one. Carmelo Hayes had one. Or did he have two? Joe Gacy had two. And then your winner, Grayson Waller, he had three. And then the finish, I was a fan of the finish as well. The finish saw Carmelo Hayes. He hit the his finisher top rope leg drop, and then before he gets the pin, you have Grayson Waller from the outside. He pulls Carmelo Hayes off, and then he gets the pin. You still have like 10 seconds left. So in that 10 seconds, Carmelo Hayes, he's stunned. He's like, you just stole my pin. So he tries to go and pins. I think it was JD McDonough who's laying, is still laying on the ground. He tries to go and pin him. Grayson Waller pulls him out of the ring, so he can't pin him. And then he basically ran the clock out, literally.
Yep.
So I thought that was a clever finish. And yeah, I enjoyed the match. I think yeah, I don't even really have anything negative to say. I was gonna
Okay.
say maybe the timing was like the 25 minutes wasn't long enough, or I mean maybe the penalty box thing could be more like you put them in there longer, or you have something more happen during the penalty time. Like I don't think anybody while the penalty box thing was going off, I don't think anybody got pinned. So you could have built more of a story behind that whole thing, but overall, that's just nitpicking. I like the match.
I had trouble with both clocks. I mean, maybe it's just my slow brain, but like
Oh,
the
it did
the
take me a while to get it.
yeah, the penalty box thing would say 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, there's only 2 minutes left in this match, and then you hear him go 10, 9, and I don't know. It's just weird. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
All right. So I don't know if it was the weed, but I think Axiom might have the best entrance of all time. Um,
Uh, he does have a trippy entrance
yeah,
where he's like paused
yeah. This is
but moving at the same time.
freaking weird. It's great. Um, for the most part, it was kind of the typical multi-man match where everybody just does a couple moves and then they kind of roll out of the way and watch while somebody else does moves. Um, like you said, they did use the penalty box, which I think I don't have any sympathy for JD, whatever his face is, because if he wasn't fucking around with the penalty box so much and tried winning the match, maybe he would have had a couple points. Maybe he would have won. Like
Yeah,
if it's for the opportunity for the NXT title, like is your feud with Axiom more important than being champion? If it is, why are you even there?
I guess to him it was.
It's just I don't know, just things like that. Of course, there's a Grayson Waller. I'll just leave it at that. Um, Waller called Booker a bitch for some reason. Is there like a thing with them, like an ongoing thing?
I don't know what that was about, and that was pretty awkward.
It was
Like
awkward.
Booker didn't say anything. It was like you felt like Booker was like real life mad.
Oh yeah,
He was probably giving him those Booker eyes.
like
Like
Waller's
I'm about to break my foot off in his.
yeah Waller's looking to be turned into a man. And um, Chubby Carrying Cross, he wrecked shit. I don't know which one that one was.
Gacy,
Yeah.
Joe
Um,
Gacy.
I wrote down. I don't understand why the little dude with the hair is wasting time fucking around with the penalty box. He has zero falls. We're 29 minutes in.
I know he went. he wasn't even in the penalty, and he went out to go to the penalty box to
Right.
fight Axiom.
Everybody up breaking up McDonald's pen. I guess that's the little dude with hair. Um, where they did that spot where they just all elbow dropped him.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of neat. And then he stomped them all, and then they all super kicked him at the same time. That was kind of cool. Of course, everybody does
And
super kick in a Shawn Michaels promotion.
oh, I was just gonna point out, and he had zero falls when they all broke it up. By the way,
Right,
like it wasn't like that was for the he was gonna win the match off of that. He had
right,
zero falls,
right,
and they
right, right.
still didn't let him get one.
That's pretty good. Is he like a big heel or something? What's his story?
Um, he kind of yeah, I guess his whole shtick is like he hurts people. So that's why him and Axiom had like the feud because he hurt him a couple
Okay.
weeks back, and outside of outside of trying to win the match, he like tries to put you in the on the shelf.
I will say none of them looked like maybe Grace. I mean, I can see why Grayson Waller's pushed, but he looks goofy. He's a good-looking dude, but that's about it. Like none of them look. I don't know. Like they, if that's the heavyweight division, they don't look impressive at all.
Yeah, they're kind of small. Um,
Yeah, they're all like they're barely taller than the turnbuckles. What are they doing?
I
What
would
is
say
this?
Grayson Waller, he could be something. I don't like his whole gimmick because I don't quite know what it is. Like
I know he has.
the basketball shorts and the dancing and the he did the shoey at the end. So like, if he's supposed to be a party person, that's fine. But then why is he wearing basketball short or sorry, boxer shorts?
I just
Why
know
is he
they're.
wearing
I,
trunks,
I just know
boxing
they're pink
trunks?
trunks. That's all I need to know about him. And
Yeah,
it's not Bret Hart pink. It's Matt
it's
Riddle
light
pink.
pink.
But I don't know. I wasn't that like enamored with the match. I guess there's a couple cool moments, but I don't know. It wasn't. There's nothing memorable or anything that made me go, "Wow, this is something that I could see being an annual like thing to look forward to, like a Royal Rumble or something, or an Elimination Chamber, or a ladder match." And that's the thing. Like, I think it's really dumb to have two of these matches on the same pay per view because schlubs like us are gonna fucking pick one. If we don't know what a match is, we're gonna pick one of the matches because we're not gonna sit through two shitty matches of developmental talent tiptoeing around something new.
Right. I mean, I didn't pick one. I just didn't. I wasn't available for one.
Whatever. I picked one.
Yeah, I legit wasn't home, so I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't see it.
So my suggestion is instead of making making everything equal, how about being innovative? Why couldn't you have done like a five-person ladder match to make it more interesting? Why do you have to have two of the same special matches? Hell, it doesn't even have to be the dudes that hey, get the special match. Let the fucking women have the Iron Survivor match. Who gives a shit? The dudes can do a like a battle royal or a ladder match or anything. Why does it have to be the same shit? Why does one side have to do one thing and then the other side have to do the exact same thing? Why does everything have to be fucking mirrored?
Quality. That's why.
Innovate, don't equality me.
They got to do. Because then they got to tout their thing that the women are getting equal chances as the men. Yada yada.
They can have the equal chances. They don't have to be in the same shit though. It doesn't have to be the same thing. You don't have to watch one thing and it be the exact same thing as the thing that you just saw. Like the Survivor
Well, they
Series.
do.
The Survivor Series, that was a chore. I'm sure the Royal Rumble is going to be a bear to watch.
Yeah. I mean, they do. They have to do that.
They don't. They're lazy.
Like, I mean, if you go down the NWA, they don't have to do that, but WWE they got to do it.
They don't have to do that. They're just lazy.
It's not lazy.
Yes, it is.
They're a private. They're a publicly traded company. They don't do something. They get called woke. They anti woke. Then if they get, I guess I should say, if they get canceled, isn't it going to be good for their shareholders thing? You know, when
They wouldn't.
you're
They
when you
wouldn't
got
get canceled
shareholders, you got to bend the knee.
if they didn't do. I don't know
Yes, it would.
if they didn't do a ladies Iron Survivor match and they did like a ladder match, nobody would say anything. They're still getting the equal opportunity. It's a different match. That's
Yes,
what I'm
they
saying.
would. Oh, why are only the men getting this match? I could see it now.
Well, those are the people that are never happy.
Well, maybe so, but
I don't think it's what they're in. I think it's how they're presented. And nobody gives a shit anyway. The people that are bitching don't watch.
of course they don't watch. But they still going to complain about it. And then you had enough people complaining, and then yeah.
I just think it's lazy. Anyway, the Carrion I changed it to Carrion Wyatt, chubby Carrion Wyatt. Uh, I guess that's kind of redundant because Bray Wyatt's kind of chubby, but I'll have to work on that. He does that little flippy
I'm
thing
sure
too.
you'll come up with one.
Yeah.
You'll come back later with one.
He does that little flippy thing too much. You know
Oh,
the thing
his
where he
springboard clothesline.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of when Dean Ambrose did that little fall away thing through the ropes into a clothesline. Like he did it all the time. Just
Oh,
annoying.
yeah.
The little dude with hair looks like a leprechaun. Just thought I'd break that down. Yeah, and of course Waller would win. Um, I thought it was clever, the finish, uh, but I thought Carmelo had a chance to pin Axiom at the end when Grayson Waller was running around, but instead he chose to chase Grayson.
I took that as he just panicked he
Okay,
once he pulled the other guy out the ring. He just panicked and just started chasing Grace.
okay, fair enough. And that could be a nitpick for me, obviously, but um, yeah, that's all I have to say.
I mean, sometimes when the pressure's on, you don't have your wits about you. You can't just make those kind of decisions.
Right.
Oh, that guy's not available. I'll just pin that guy.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. I can see that. Absolutely.
Well, we move on to our final match of the night. Do I do it for Braun Breaker? Yeah, we'll give him one.
Wow.
And now, your main event of the evening.
Oh yeah, let's go get that average view duration up.
You have Apollo Crews versus your reigning and defending NXT heavyweight champion. He is the son of Rick Steiner. He is the nephew of Scott Steiner. He is the big, bad, booty daddy nephew. He is Steiner Man. He is. Okay. Braun Breaker. I didn't have. I should have prepared that beforehand. Don't worry, I'll get it next time. Next time we have a championship match, I'll have something better. Which leads me to my first point of the match: the introductions. Do you see how I just did that introduction? Now, it wasn't the best. I fell off at the end there. I'll admit myself. Wasn't my best one. But I got you hyped for the match because I said, he's the reigning and defending. I gave you some stats about him. When they do these championship matches now, and they used to do it, especially Bruce Buffer, he used to do, like, he's fighting out of this, he weighs this pounds.
And he lives in a condo right off the east coast of West Virginia.
Yeah, he used to build up the
He
person,
likes long
but
walks
now,
on the beach. It has a
but
Shar-Pei
now,
puppy.
yeah, and now they just like, your challenger, and here's your champion, and that's it. Like, there's nothing special about the introduction. So that was the first thing.
I'll be
Now,
honest with you, I didn't even notice, but I'm sure I agree with you.
yeah, they just said, you're, yeah, they did the little spotlight thing, and your challenger, Apollo Crews, and then your NXT World Heavyweight Champion, Braun Breaker.
The
But
thing
there
is
was no
the
like,
the commentary, the interviewers, the everybody with the microphone is just so bad that I tune them out. So I yeah, I wouldn't notice the announcers or how good they are.
well, that's part of what I listen to because I miss those things where they're like, he weighed in at this, and this, and he's from here, and some of his accolades that led him up to deserving a title match.
Oh, I agree with you. Like if I watch something older with good commentary, it's just like I don't know. It's like champagne for the ears. Now
Yeah.
it's we're left with sludge, with swill.
Well, you have that. So outside of that, it's a pretty decent match. Nothing special really happened in the match, and Braun Breaker retained. It was really like a run of the mill match. There was a weird moment during the match where Apollo Crews, like, I don't know, transformed. I don't know what happened. So
I don't
they
know
do a
why, but that reminded me of us when we were would backyard wrestle. So, it seems like something we would do.
yeah. There was a moment where he like closed his eyes and then he's breathing, and then he opens his eyes and they're like really big, like just really wide, and then that was his new persona or maybe like his new gear. I thought with how they were like zoomed in on him, I was like, what is he about to like have red eyes or something? Like I thought there was about to be some crazy transformation,
I kind of
and then
thought
I'm
that too.
thinking, well, when would he have had time to do this?
Right. Did you
Like his eyes are about to be bloodshot red or something, and it's like, would he have done it?
just sit up a little like, come on now, I'm interested. But no, nothing like that.
Yeah, and then Braun Breaker wins off of a spear, one spear. That's it.
One spear after doing a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah, but well, he did a bunch of other shit, but yeah, it was just a spear, and I don't know. I
Is that
thought
even his finish?
it's the setup to his finish.
Okay.
So the move that Apollo Crews did right before, where he like did the press into the power slam,
Yeah, somebody from
that's his finish.
WCW used to do that.
Goldberg.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, but that's Braun Breaker's actual finisher. But he didn't do it, and he won off the spear.
Yes,
And
he did.
yeah, I was just saying like you would. I thought because of like that whole transformation thing that it was gonna like be this big thing to beat Apollo Crews, but yeah, he just gets beat off with the one spear.
Yeah, well, that's it.
But aside from that, it wasn't a bad match. It was just nothing special about it at all.
Well, I guess the story of the match is even though Apollo Crews went into that next gear, it still wasn't enough to beat Braun Breaker
Yeah,
because he did kind of hit him with everything he had.
yeah, I could see that.
Not that I'm a expert or anything. So, my turn.
It's your turn.
All right. So it was a good thing I was excited for this match because the build up to it, the little video package, just sucked. Like they went out fishing and Apollo's like, "Oh, what's it like going to the out in the woods? You escaping from being a champion, or you just lying to yourself?" And Braun Breaker talks about how hard it is being a champion, and Apollo goes, "Oh, you just give me the belt. I'll take it off your hands." And then Braun Breaker goes, "Oh, I'm going to have to respectfully decline. I almost had you." And
I almost had you.
yeah, he said that. Oh, I almost had it. Very, very woodenly. It was obvious bad acting. But then like,
I almost tricked you. You almost gave me your title.
and then they're like sitting in a coffee shop, like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring intensity and speed, blah 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 blah." Well, I'm gonna bring the same thing, and just it was really, I don't know. And Braun Breaker, he's really good. All the things that I've heard about him are seem to be true, but he kind of looks a little bit softer than his dad was. Like he doesn't look as like a grizzly bear.
Yeah, you gotta give him time. He's like young still.
Fair enough. I think
Gotta get him time to get cut up.
weren't the Steiners about his age when they started, and they still look like freaks.
No,
Okay.
they did not. They look like little pretty boys with their leather jackets and
Well,
mullets.
Rick's
Well, Scott Steiner.
Rick's look never really changed though. He was always like a big burly fucking wrestler.
He just
Little
had the beard.
okay. Um, aside from that, I thought Cruz was great. I was ready to shit on him, call him a jacked up Kevin Hart and all that stuff, but I like when they were in the ring, and maybe this is why I didn't hear the announcer because he was just the way he was looking at the NXT Championship. Like you could, it, I don't know, just his body language. It made it seem like he really wanted it, and like there was nothing he wanted more than to have that on his shoulder. Um, I thought that was great. I thought it was great that we saw some wrestling. There was there were some fucking headlocks. There was some German suplexes. There was some uh, takedowns and hip tosses and tests of strength and lockups, and it was great. It was one of the best matches I've seen in a while. Um, Little Rick, he does a one of Apollo Cruz's moonsaults, his little standing moonsault, and he completely misses. And Booker T nailed him on it, which I thought was great. It's like Apollo Cruz's moonsault's a 10, Little Rick's is a 7. Good for Booker. Yeah, the close up on Cruz hulking up was really stupid. It was dumb as fuck. Especially that little shaky cam effect that they did. Um, I don't know, like that was so weird.
Yeah.
It took me out of the match completely. I'd say. I like that Cruz did that D'Lo frog splash. Everybody does a frog splash, but it was nice to see a D'Lo frog splash. Does anybody
Yeah.
else do a D'Lo?
Uh, no, I think it's the only one. Maybe Kofi kinda does one.
Okay,
Yeah, Kofi. Sorry.
okay. Well, it was just refreshing to see. In a world of frog splashes, it's just nice to see something different. But overall, I thought it was an awesome match, despite the all the cliches, like the every time they do the pin thing and they kick out, they look surprised or angry or shocked and close up on their face. Then they did the locking foreheads in the middle of the ring, and then they did tons of false finishes. And then they did the gimmick where they use each other's move. And then they did the New Japan punching thing where they grab each other's head and just start wailing on each other. Um, but aside from that, it was a good match. I liked it.
Mhm.
And you're right, like
Oh,
the finish, like what it took to beat Apollo Crews was really anticlimactic. Like you think, like he come out like Super Shredder after they did the close up. Like why would you do the close up thing if it didn't mean anything?
well, yeah, I wouldn't compare it to that. It was kind of anticlimactic how they beat the Super Shredder too. They
True,
did all that
you're right,
build up and then they just dropped the deck on him.
right. Well, he dropped the
He
deck on
didn't
himself.
even do anything. Like he didn't
He
even. They didn't even fight him.
Donatello tried to reason with him, and then Shredder threw him. I think that was the only physical interaction that they had. And then he started
Yeah.
punching. He started inexplicably punching the bridge, and they're like, "No, don't do that. You'll kill us all." He's like, "Fuck you. Do what I want. Don't tell me what to do."
Yeah.
This made no sense to me. But yeah, so that was NXT Deadline. I'd say like the two matches saved the show for me. I think overall though, like there's no comparison to how the takeovers were. Um, I really wish just that kind of makes me wish the Hunter had his shit together more with the main roster now because it makes me appreciate like how good the takeover era was.
Yeah. It's definitely not a takeover, but I would say compared to like what they put on TV, this was definitely a good show. Um, I did want to go back though. The build to this Apollo Braun Breaker feud, at least from what the video package showed, it was like they were on bro dates. Oh, let's go
Yeah,
fishing, bro.
it was kind of
And then
weird. Yeah.
oh, and the what did stick out to me on this whole thing, the whole video package, was Apollo Crews was eating in the diner, and Breaker walks in and says, "I thought I'd find you here." How? How would he know that he's going to be in a diner, that diner? Like, what do you mean you thought you'd find me here? No, you didn't. Like, just go out there and say, "Oh, you're here," or "Someone told me you'd be here." But don't say, "Oh, I thought I'd find you here," because what is this? He's on the road, so much with the main roster, but this is his regular spot.
there's
He usually
something
comes here on Sundays.
there's something about Braun Breaker that I can't put my finger on though. That everybody says he's a star, and he'll be, not everybody, but the circles that I listen to, wrestling opinion wise, They suggest that he's going to be a star, maybe possibly top wrestler one day with WWE, and right now I just kind of don't see it. Not that my
Yeah,
opinion matters, but
you got people talking about him being the one to dethrone Roman, which
yeah,
is crazy because that means like he's nowhere near ready to be the top guy.
right.
So that means Roman would have to keep the title that long, or yeah, he's not. And no, there's no way that he would take down Roman.
No, at least yeah. There's just something about it. I can't put my finger on it. He just doesn't look like as big of a badass as the Steiners did. I think that's what it is. And I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's a tough dude. He's got the Goldberg tattoo, so I'm sure he's got made fun of, and he had to fight in school and stuff.
Um, yeah, uh, I mean, even the Steiners, they didn't really transform until later in their career anyway. Or I guess we've already kind of went through that. Like,
I just remember.
it
I,
wasn't until he became Big Papa Pump that he was really something.
no, that's
When he
Scott
was Scott
Steiner.
Steiner.
I'm talking about
Well,
Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner was
I'm
always
saying,
a hairy motherfucker that was just a big. He looked like he didn't need no fucking blonde hair and muscles. He looked like he would just use his fingers as a can opener on your skin.
I don't know.
Just
I didn't see it in him. I wouldn't. He just looked like a little teddy bear
okay,
until later on,
fair enough.
like early Steiners. Well, yeah,
I'll go back and look, but
but
I think I'm right.
well, you see what you see. I see what I see.
Well, I'm right and you're wrong.
There's not a there's not a right and wrong on this
Yes, there
this
is.
point. It's just you see what you see. I see what I see.
Of course, there's right and wrong. That's the only thing that matters.
Oh, I got something I was right on. We're gonna talk about it later.
Okay.
But I
Uh,
got two things I was right on. Maybe even more.
okay.
But that was your NXT Deadline review. Um, yeah, that was your review.
All right. So where are you taking this crazy train now?
uh, well, I guess now let's start talking about the the shows of the week.
Okay.
We had Raw, SmackDown,
Oh boy, yeah.
Dynamite. Um, start off with Raw here.
Okay.
Overall, it was I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't a great show, but it wasn't a bad show either. It was like right in the middle. Probably towards bad than good, but it's definitely right in the middle, if I would say.
I'd say it started off great and then just went downhill from there.
So,
Well, no, I wouldn't even say it started off great. I'd say it started off, at least it was different, and then it just went downhill from there.
yeah, it's definitely different. So we start the show off with uh I think we start the show off with the Usos getting to the arena, is that right?
Yep.
And then you have like Riddle riding a scooter through
He
them,
rides a goddamn scooter.
and then Elias is also with him. Well, he's not riding the scooter, but he's like passing through with him, and then they jump Elias and essentially take him out of the tag team match that's about to happen.
Well, Riddle rides a scooter. Uh, the bloodline gets out of their limo, and then Riddle rides a scooter through their crowd as they're giving some sort of interview, and then a few seconds later, Elias comes like, "Hey, dudes, what's with the noise?" And then Sokoa Joe out of nowhere, like he comes out of nowhere. He just hits Elias in the back of the head with a forearm, and they all just beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, because of what Riddle did with the scooter.
Yeah, it was amazing. The forearm part at least.
And then,
We get to a promo because wrestling rings are for talking in the WWE. Um, Promo
well, that's
being
how you
with
start the
the
show.
Usos. They say the title match is canceled. Um, Talk some shit. Sammy said bet at one point. Like Jimmy was saying something, and Sammy's like bet, and they all just kind of stopped and look at him. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. It just seemed like a good time for a bet." I thought that was funny. Riddle came out, and I said, "Fuck the rest." Riddle wears glitter, and then in bold capital letters, I fucking told you that Owens was wrestling the Usos this week. That's exactly what I said last week. I said he'll probably wrestle the Usos.
Well, spoiler alert. So
So we
since
want, wait,
Elias
we
got
want to talk about one of us being right and wrong. Come
okay,
on,
go
give the
ahead.
devil his due. My reign
You're
of
right.
terror starts now.
You're right. Okay, you got
Okay,
that one.
good deal.
I'm gonna need my I'm gonna need mine when it comes up.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so this will be great.
Oh, I'm gonna need mine.
All right, fair enough.
Um, yeah. So the Riddle Kevin Owens was the replacement because the Usos said the match is canceled because they took out Elias. Riddle came out. He said, uh, is the stupidest thing he could have said. He was like, "Bro, you took out Elias. Not cool." Like, like this is the most ridiculous thing that he could have said. Like,
Oh,
that's all you have to say?
when he said Usi, that's not very
Oh,
Usi. Oh, I just want to hit him in the face.
oh, you if you didn't fast forward it, you also missed a good thing from Sammy that he came back with that. He
What?
said, Sammy said, "You can't say Usi, that's our thing." And then he also said, Sammy said, "I consider myself
An
somewhat of
usologist or something?
an oosologist."
Yeah,
So we got a new oos term,
yeah,
oosologist.
yeah. That was great.
So yeah, it's funny how he keeps like expanding on Usi. So
Yeah,
oosologist is now.
he's finding ways to keep it fresh, and that's appreciative. I just wish Riddle wouldn't ever come out ever.
Well, the end of this match, I guess you're gonna kind of get your wish for a while.
Right. Well, as far
Um,
as the match, it was the same shit, different day. It's the same thing we've seen. It was fine as far as it was good, but it's just repetitive. And at this point, the Usos get to wrestle Sheamus and Mouthpiece McFingerbang, the most vanilla, smallest, boring wrestler in all of WWE, and probably in all of pro wrestling. That being Mouthpiece McFingerbang. I think Solo Sikoa versus Owens match would be great. I don't know about you.
um, yeah,
Just two big dudes just
it's just to
wailing
be
on
a
each other.
hard-hitting match. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that. And yeah, Usos hit the 3D for the win on Riddle, and it really wasn't that memorable except for at the end. uh, Kevin Owens chases everybody with the chair because did Sammy prevent Did Sammy do something?
Oh yeah, so they hit the 3D,
Right.
or I'm sorry, the 1D. They hit the 1D, and Sammy prevented Kevin from getting in the ring to break it up.
Okay.
He like, wait,
Or was it Sheamus?
that was he did that. Maybe
Oh
he did it
wait,
to both.
no.
He definitely grabbed Sheamus's leg, or
See,
maybe he
it
did that to Kevin
because
Owens.
it's the same shit. I'm getting Smackdown and Raw confused.
But yeah, so Kevin Owens he chases Sammy and the Usos off with a chair.
Leaving
He didn't
Sikoa.
hit Sammy, by the way.
He didn't. It looked like he was going to go after him, and then it looked like he made a conscious effort not to, and then he went that way anyway. It was deliberate, but it was a nice little touch. And that left Sikoa Joe with a prone riddle, and Sikoa Joe looked like that one guy you don't ever want to meet in prison. He then proceeds to pick Riddle up and use a Samoan spike. I guess that's what he does now. It's appropriate, at least for now.
Well, he so yeah, he did a Samoan spike on Riddle. I think that was the 10th anniversary of Umaga's passing. It was
Right,
if not
right.
the 10th, it was definitely some anniversary of Umaga's passing. So it's kind of a tribute to Umaga.
So he's not going to use the Samoan spike anymore ever again?
He might, but that was definitely just a tribute.
Okay.
Now, maybe he adds that into his arsenal. If he does, it better be the finisher.
Imagine
But,
bre-
he has the
breaking
spinning solo.
breaking somebody's neck as a tribute.
um,
But yeah, so he uses the Samoan spike. Anytime you see Riddle getting his ass kicked, I think that's a plus in my book. So beats him up a couple times, does the little Umaga turnbuckle thing. I think he spikes him one more time. Then he gets a chair and puts it around his neck and does the little Umaga ass thing, which you think it would hurt him just as much as Riddle, right?
whoa, you kind of breezed over that. That's important information.
Go ahead.
So he wedges the chair on Riddle's neck
I said that. How'd I
and then
breeze
puts him
over
in
it?
the corner. Yeah, and then puts him in the corner and then does the Umaga bulldozer, yeah, the hip attack with Riddle's neck in the chair. So you just kind of breezed over the fact that he crushed Riddle's neck in the chair with the hip attack.
Oh, I thought it was gruesome enough. I mean, but again, that brings me back to you think that would hurt Sikoa Joe just as much as Riddle because he's going backwards into a chair.
Yeah,
So like at some point, the chair's gonna run into something that's softer or excuse me, that's harder than Riddle's throat, and at that point, the hip of Sikoa Joe is the softest point of contact.
right. Um, but we wrote this was a way to write Riddle off TV,
For
I
6
guess.
weeks.
It did, yeah. They later reported on WWE.com that he's going to be out for 6 weeks. Uh, I don't know how far we are to the Royal Rumble, but it seems like that's a Royal Rumble return. And I guess now we have set up a Riddle versus Joe. Look at you. You got me saying it now. A Riddle versus Solo match would be his first like actual feud,
In 6 weeks?
which is good. Which is something because it'll give him something to do. But yeah, well, 6 weeks because he'll return.
But
Um,
you're saying that that's going to be Sikoa Joe's first feud?
Yeah.
So we're gonna wait 6 weeks for Sakoa Joe to have a meaningful program.
Well, yeah, you build towards it.
Oh my god.
Maybe have him. He keeps with the beatdown thing, and then I don't know. Maybe he's gonna do that same thing to someone else, and then out comes Riddle for the save, and then there you go. You got your first feud kicked off.
I guess I'll see it when I see it.
Or it'll be that, or maybe they put him in the Rumble. He's, every year in the Rumble they have that person who's like dominating the whole thing.
Mm,
The Stone Cold Steve Austin spot that I called it now. By the way, when he did it, it was such that was one of the best moments when he did the solo domination thing. I think
yeah,
it was like the '95 Royal Rumble, the one where he gets eliminated and then goes back in the ring and eliminates Bret Hart and
the final four.
Undertaker and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
And at one point he's looking at his imaginary watch sitting on the turnbuckle.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I just watched that Royal Rumble the other day, oddly enough. Why? I don't know, but it seems like they do that spot now, kind of yearly. There was one guy dominating, so maybe they do Solo as the dominant person of the Royal Rumble. He's eliminating everybody, and then Riddle's music hits, and there you go. Now he's back for his feud. He eliminates Solo, and then they go off to a feud.
Okay. Well,
Um, Obviously Solo's gonna win that feud, so there's
he
that
better.
too. But
Although Riddle won
yeah,
a
I
feud
think
against Rollins, so I mean, but Rollins or Riddle's still treated like a joke. Just it makes no sense. Nothing makes sense.
yeah. So they could either do that as his first feud, or Riddle comes back and then he acts like nothing ever happened to him, and he just carry on carries on with his
With Elias.
bongo thing and Elias, and yeah, just like pretends it never happened.
Yeah.
Which I could also see happening because they do that sometimes.
Right.
Like you just said, Riddle, he wins the thing, and then just kind of forgets about it all while Seth Rollins over here winning championships, and
Right.
then Riddle's just off doing nothing. And then what was the other one? Bobby Lashley. He kind of didn't really press for a rematch, like after the whole after
He,
the whole cash in thing.
he did, but then he didn't. It was weird.
Yeah, he's more interested in beating the shit out of people than actually getting the rematch.
But then he's saying how
Anyway,
important the title is to him, which makes no sense because he had an opportunity, but he walked away, and then the whole Austin Theory thing happened, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden makes my head spin.
Uh, well, then we move on to the Judgment Day segment.
Which I skipped because
Um,
75% of their team can be manhandled by a tiny Mia Yim. So I have no interest in what they have to say.
okay, and you skipped it. I didn't get to see it because of a cable issue.
There you go.
The the channel blacked out for some reason, so didn't
Yeah,
get to see it.
sure you didn't
Um,
miss anything.
it led us into our first triple threat match. I mean, I didn't see it. There's nothing to really say. You didn't see it, I didn't see it, so
Fair
what
enough.
can we say about it? Um, it led us to our first triple threat match. We have Baley, Rhea Ripley, and Auska. They are so we ultimately we have two triple threat matches. We have the first triple threat match, and then we have a second triple threat match. The winners of each triple threat match goes into the next week of Raw to a one-on-one match, and that winner then challenges Bianca Belair for the uh, Raw Women's Championship. So our first match was Baley, Auska, and Rhea Ripley. There was a good little moment that kind of teases. Um, Baley, she was leaving the ring for some reason. Don't know how she was out there. Again, I was having trouble with my cable.
Uh-huh.
But her and Rhea Ripley had a stare down.
Are you talking about Becky
And,
Lynch?
oh, yeah, sorry. Becky Lynch. She
Yeah,
was out there
so
for some reason.
so Bailey was out there, and then Becky Lynch comes to because I think she was trying to say that she hoped that Bailey wins so that they could have their match together because she's in the later three way because we gotta have two three-way women's matches in one fucking night. Um, but yeah, so that happened, and then like I don't get what the big deal with Becky Lynch is. I'm sorry. Like I've always thought her promos were awful, and they still are. Um, but yeah, so she called Bailey a loser and brags about beating damage control, which is kind of fair. Like my main question was why is Bailey out there in the first place? Because she lost to Bianca twice now. So why does she keep getting a title opportunity?
Right.
Shouldn't it be somebody else? Like surely there could be somebody else that they can stick in there. But
I don't know.
uh, Bailey said Lynch only cares about herself, which I thought was kind of valid. And I didn't understand why she was there in the first place. Like they just kind of kind of looked at each other, and then Lynch left, and then like you said, Ripley came out, which Becky Lynch is supposed to be like the baddest bitch in WWE, right? One of them at least.
Oh, I guess. She's the man.
Okay. So Ripley comes out, and then she does her little foot stomp head turn thing with her little timing with her music. Now you got somebody that's just a few feet away from you, and you're doing your little foot stomp head turn thing. Why didn't Becky just go up there and just smack her? Just thought it looked goofy.
She was doing her entrance.
It's stupid. Somebody,
Like, she
so,
was.
somebody's right in your face, and then, and then, yeah, they do the stare down, and nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened.
Well, they were setting up. It looked like they were setting up for. I don't know what we're getting at WrestleMania, maybe?
Uh,
Maybe it's the. No, I don't see them wrestling at Royal Rumble. Maybe they. Maybe they're 1 and 2 in the Royal Rumble or something. But it looks like it's setting up for like a future feud between them two of
okay,
some sort.
I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm not excited for that. I gotta say, shocker, right?
You don't say.
Um, I guess the match was fine, right? What did you think of the match?
uh, it was good. I just want to say, how good is Rhea Ripley? How good is Rhea Ripley? She's doing drop kicks. Someone her size doing flawless drop kicks. She's dominating the match.
What do you mean somebody
Like,
her size?
she's big.
She ain't that big. She might be big for a lady, but she
She's,
ain't she ain't that big.
I mean, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's equivalent to like China doing a drop kick. It's just as impressive. She's like the size of China. There, I said it.
She is not the size of China.
She is the size of China.
She's not the
She's
size.
over 6 foot. She's jacked up to the gills.
She is not jacked up to the
She's
gills.
chiseled
Stop
out
it.
of granite.
Stop it. Stop it. Don't you
You
drink the Kool-Aid too?
better put some respect on Rhea Ripley's
No,
name.
fuck that shit. Rhea Ripley is the worst thing I've ever seen on TV. Now, she's not that bad, but we need to stop with the Rhea Ripley dick sucking. She's not that great.
No, I don't think it's
She
getting sucked enough.
there was a Enziguri spot um, somewhere in the
It
match
wasn't
that
her fault.
no. I was Lucky. Listen to you. And the way she sold it was really good. But aside from that, I mean, she she does a little smiling thing, and in fact, she looked really stupid at the end of the match when she had Auska like dead to rights, and then she runs out and tries to do the little front flip thing onto Baley, which Baley naturally just ran, moved over to the side.
You know why? That's because she was being so dominant. She wanted to say, you know what? I could win this match right now. I'm taking your ass out too, because I'm that dominant.
No, that's her saying I don't know how to go for gold.
And plus, I already said we're saving her for a bigger moment. Yeah,
I don't
we.
I don't care. You can
We're saving her for WrestleMania. She's not wrestling Royal Rumble for a title match. What good is that going to do her? We're getting WrestleMania
well you can get there without making her look like
night
a
one.
total idiot. She looks like an idiot. Anyway, Bailey hits a rose plant on the Auska for the win.
Poor old Asuka taking the L here.
No, it should have been Ripley. That would
Come,
have she would have saved
what are
face.
you even saying right here?
She would have saved face.
Ripley, she ain't getting pinned until I don't know. She ain't getting pinned
No,
until she's got gold.
she's just gonna do an unnecessary front flip onto somebody that's not that down. While she has her other opponent dead to rights to where she could win the match.
That shows you just how dominant
It
she
doesn't
is.
show me. It shows me how stupid she is.
that's that's like you're winning a fight and then you go someone's watching, the friends watching, and you go beat their ass too.
Yeah, and then you find yourself getting
And
your ass
then
whooped by those two
and
friends.
then they're like, I was just sitting here. You're getting clapped too.
Whatever. Ripley, we need to stop with the Ripley stuff.
Oh, I guess we differ on that. I say you need to suck it even more. Suck it even harder.
Anyway, then we move on to a. Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, you go ahead. I was just gonna move us on.
What?
I said I was
Oh,
just gonna
I'm
move us
sorry.
on. So go
Yeah.
ahead.
So we go into a Rollins promo because it is Monday night after all. Um,
Monday Night Rollins.
yeah, Monday Night Rollins. He says some shit. Basically, he says it'd be fun to shit on Lashley, but he's not out here. Um, so he wants the crowd to sing his stupid theme song. And then that prompts Lashley to immediately come out and says, "Hey, what you wanted to say something?" He then mocks Lashley for losing to Lesnar, calls him a coward, says he's jealous of Brock. I don't know why they're bringing up Lesnar now, unless he's coming soon, but he's not advertised,
About to
so
get round three.
I guess. But I mean, it just seems out of nowhere. It's not consistent. Like they haven't brought him up since. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Um, he says Brock has the career you wish you had. You just can't beat Brock. If you don't get basically if you don't get your shit together, beating you this time will be easier than the first time. That prompts Lashley to beat the piss out of Rollins after Rollins taunts Lashley, and then he being Seth Rollins throws a producer in the way of a Lashley spear, and then ran away like a coward. Typical babyface behavior, right?
Yes, he was. He outsmarted Lashley. You know,
Okay.
it was also babyface behavior. Is when he was coming down the entrance ramp during his entrance, slapping hands with the fans.
Yeah.
That was pretty babyface. I don't see many heels doing that.
So you're
He's a babyface.
so it's okay. He's just shooting people on the back of the head in the street, but as long as he's a little slapping hands, it's cool.
What are you talking about? What?
He
Did
threw
Austin Theory
he
slap anybody's hand?
he threw a company official in the way of a Bobby
He
Lashley
didn't.
spear. He deliberately
He was
threw him.
just being smart.
It wasn't being
Because you're a
smart.
babyface, you can't be smart.
That's not smart.
It is smart. The guy standing right there, you
That's not
swap
smart at
positions.
all. That's cowardly, which is a heel thing.
It
It's
wasn't a
a
coward. He
it's
stood face to
it's a
he
heel thing,
stood
Mister.
he stood face to face with Bobby Lashley. He called him a coward. He said he can't beat Brock. He didn't. He did
Sure
that
then.
face to face.
And as soon as Bobby Lashley
And
started beating the piss out of him, he threw a WWE official in the way of a spear and then ran away like a bitch. That's what
well,
he did.
another thing.
That's what happened.
And
Those are the facts.
and
He's a heel.
and when he came out, he said, "I would. I was gonna say some things about Bobby Lashley, but he's not here,
Uh huh.
so I'm not gonna say those things." That's a
No,
face thing to do. And then Bobby Lashley came out. Then he talked this talk.
but
Like he didn't say it behind his back.
taunting, calling him a coward, and he threw a company official in the way of a spear. I don't care if he kisses babies on the way to the ring. He is a heel.
Well, your heels are weird.
My heels are heels. Yeah, thank you.
my heels, my heels don't go slapping hands with the fans.
That's
You
what.
see, you think MJF is slapping hands?
That's
Huh?
because you like the sports entertainment. Well, MJF doesn't get booed.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he does now.
Why does he get booed now? I always hear him get cheered.
Oh, because he always shits on the fans now. He's back to being original MJF, so he gets chance of shut the fuck up and stuff.
So the fans play along with him, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They
So,
do what they're supposed to do.
so they love him.
Yeah, of
There,
course they love him,
there you go.
but they do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
they know how to. They know how to act.
So yeah. Anyway, it looks
You
like
know,
we're getting a
WWE, they don't be acting right. They don't even know how to act at all.
well. It looks like we're getting a heel versus heel uh, match for the rights to face Austin Theory next week. So be something to look forward to. I haven't seen Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins wrestle in a while. Anything to add?
Nope, you covered it.
Cool beans. Next we get Mustafer versus Austin Theory again. Theory's in the backstage, back. He's doing a promo talking about how awesome he is, and then naturally Mustafer is just there. He says that unlike Austin Theory, he had to fight for his title shot, even though Theory beat Lashley and Rollins to get it. Also, I think he beat Mustafa like a couple weeks ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck that meant at all. Thankfully, Mustafa lost the pigtails. And as far as the match, it was okay. It wasn't as good as the tag match. So it's either a blessing or a curse, depending on how you look at that. And looks like we're getting Mustafa Theory. Oh, I'm sorry. Dolph Ziggler inexplicably interrupts. Like I thought he'd attack Theory or something. He didn't. He just pushed him out of the ring and started talking some shit. And then he did a little shoving with Mustafa. And
Wait, didn't he super kick Theory
Oh, did he? I
to
thought he.
cause the DQ.
Oh, I thought he pushed him out. I wasn't really paying that much attention, I'll be honest.
Yeah, he super kicked Theory,
Okay. Um,
caused the DQ for what reason I don't know.
yeah, but that's all he did, right? I'm not misremembering that, am I?
Yeah, he did the super kick, and then him and Mustafa, they were. Mustafa was like, "Why'd you do that? You know, I was about to win," and uh, I don't know. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were losing 13-3, and they almost caught up, and they ended up winning that game. So there you
Fair enough. But yeah,
go.
looks like we might be getting a triple threat match, or Ziggler and Theory are gonna do something, or Mustafa and Zig. I don't know. I don't fucking care.
Um, yeah, I don't know where they're going with that, especially since Rollins and Lashley are about to wrestle for the number one contendership. Uh, so there's that. And then I'm sorry, Mustafa, he put out this thing on social media talking about essentially why he keeps getting his ass beat. And uh, he had this thing talking about when 9/11 happened. He was in school and he was, they see this thing happening on the TV and everybody was talking about how bad it was. And then he said, I can't believe this happened to us. And the kids turned on him and said, no, you're one of them. Yeah,
What?
that's that's the story he put out on social media. They
One of them what?
basically,
One of who?
one of the
He ain't no. He ain't. He ain't.
that's what he said. That's what he said. I'm not, this isn't embellished. He said during 9/11, people
We're saying that
tried to,
he.
like, yeah, he's one of the plane flyers. Like, you're not American, you're one of them. So
So
that's why he
this
gets his ass beat.
snowflake, this glass of milk, is saying that he was being
No,
accused.
Mustafa.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, Mustafa said this.
Oh, well, that's
Now you
okay.
get it.
I was, I thought Austin. That's why I'm like, what the fuck?
No, not theory.
Okay, that's why it was so outrageous to me. Mustafa doesn't surprise me. He says dumb shit.
Well, I mean, it's probably true. I remember, well, high schoolers can be pretty cruel. Let's just say that. Let's just leave it there.
Anyway, that brings us to the OC versus Corbin and Alpha Academy. And I'll be honest with you, I watch Raw on Hulu, and Hulu left this out of the replay, and I am not mad about that at all.
um, I don't know what to say about it. It was like, uh, here we go again, though, with Corbin getting the longest match on the show.
Was it?
Maybe. Well, maybe it wasn't the longest match. It's pretty long, though.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
All right.
that's all I really have to say about it.
Moving on.
Yeah,
We
of
we
course,
oh.
Alpha Alpha Academy was in the match, so of course they lost.
Okay.
Mm.
There we go. Moving on, we have Tozowa versus Dominique Mysterio. Again, Hulu left this off the replay, and again, I'm not too mad about that. I do understand that both this and the Corbin Alpha Academy match were initiated during a card game.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that. Well, I guess we did. So JBL had a poker tournament thing where
Okay.
a bunch of the crew were there. Um, so Tozowa and Dominique, they had a moment during the card game where Dominique did the entitled thing where he was basically saying, "I can take what I want." He's stealing the chips off the table, Tozawa's chips,
Oh, because
and
he's
he's like,
Eddie
"I can take."
Guerrero.
Well, no,
Oh,
no, he was like,
okay.
Tozawa said something about him stealing the chips, and he was like, "I can take what I want because, um, I don't know, because I'm me, because you can't do anything about it, pretty much." And then he had another moment where he said he told someone that he was the size of, maybe it was Tozawa, but he said he was the same size as his deadbeat dad, so he can't do he
Real
can't
quick,
do anything to him.
did you see the Thanksgiving thing with them
Yeah,
where 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 he's like, oh, you can't come in. I'm having dinner with my family, and they just push him in and beat the fuck out of him in his own house.
yeah,
Beat him up with pictures.
yeah. That was great,
Yeah.
and the explanation was great too. Did you see the explanation?
Uh-uh.
Oh, well, Dominic said he said the reason he beat up Ray on Thanksgiving was because they already had their Christmas tree up before December.
There you go. I mean, if you're gonna beat somebody up on Thanksgiving, that'd be it.
It was a little ridiculous, though, just to touch on that real quick, that Ray was in his mask. Like, he's in his house
Right.
and he's in his mask. That was a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Like,
it's a,
you wear that mask?
I think it's a little ridiculous that he protects his identity when he like wrestled for at least a year without a mask.
A year? He wrestled longer than that in WCW without the
Uh,
mask.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That I don't know. My timeline's fucked up. I know
But
he
when he
wrestled.
went to WWE, they put him back in the mask and
I know he wrestled long
he's
enough
been
for
in there
people to
since.
know what he looks like without a mask. So it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of
Yeah, it
weird.
was like part of his identity with his little hair, with his bangs.
Yeah, he looked like a
Are
little
those
emo kid.
bangs?
Yeah, he had the little gel.
Like, he was very cholo
Yeah, he was. He
with his
embraced it.
earrings and,
And the Jinkos.
yeah, the button down shirt,
Yeah,
with only the top button buttoned,
he was basically a little
with white
Conan.
shirt underneath. Yeah.
But, um, I don't know who won the Tozawa Dominique Mysterio match. So
Yes, you do.
I actually
Think
don't.
about it.
Was it Tozawa?
Dominic won.
Oh, oh, well. That means Tozawa can get manhandled by Mia Yim as well. Great. Good job, Tozawa. All right, moving on. We have our second triple threat match of the evening.
And this one, Bliss, Cross, Nikki Cross, and Becky Lynch, the Man.
It'd be great if Karrion Cross was in. I'd I'd be on the edge of my seat for that.
You'd pay for that.
Yeah.
Um,
TikTok.
Also noting to point out here that when Alexa Bliss was coming out to the ring, the Wyatt symbol flashed. So, um,
I
again,
saw
we're
the
teasing that she's
I saw the
either
doll
going to be.
too. Is that normal?
Oh, Lily. She's
Yeah.
back too. No, that's not normal.
Okay. Yay.
Forgot about that. So, we're kind of teasing that she's either going back to her old gimmick or she's uh, needing to close that door with Wyatt. I don't know, but something with Wyatt's happening. Um, and then she's been spacing out more too. if you've been catching that. So
Not
it's
really.
definitely something happening with Bliss.
Okay. Um, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Nikki Cross at all. Um, just like just like what I said about Isla Dawn, the laughing stuff, it's phony. She's the smallest one in the ring. Um, there's nothing intimidating about her. She's got her little grandma bathing suit on. It, it's just she's just there. Um, I think Bliss looks awful in just about everything she does. Nothing she does in the ring looks believable. It looks like she's waiting for a planned spot as opposed to being in a physical contest. Um,
Okay.
Bliss did the front flip that Ripley failed to do, which made Ripley look even worse.
There you
Becky,
go.
Becky does the Tower Power spot on both Bliss and Rhea, Nikki Cross. Almost said Rhea Ripley. And I wrote, "Fuck this shit," because I don't think any of them could powerbomb me like more than one. None of them have like that build. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was never really a fan of that Tower of Doom spot.
It's stupid. Cena fucked everything up with that. I don't even know if he started it, but I blame him for it because he did it all the time. Oh, come on, Big Show, come on, Edge, get on my back. Let me F5 all you guys. And then the top three just slide off like eels and pretend it was a full move.
Yeah, it's like when oh, I mean, it's pretty impressive that he had both Big Show and Edge on his back.
Sure,
Like that's
absolutely.
impressive.
What wasn't impressive was them sliding off like eels and pretending that they got F5'd.
Well, it's two man. What do you want from me?
Not to do it.
You
You
go
don't have
do
to do it.
you get Big Show and Edge on your back and do an F5.
I wouldn't because it wouldn't look believable. Um, the apron rock bottom from Lynch to Nikki Cross was awful. They just need to stop doing apron moves at this point. Between Ronda's apron botch apron DDT to this, like these are supposed to be the top women, right? And they can't do these moves.
Right.
Just not my thoughts at least. Um, just real quick, like all these, I don't know, like if the road has gotten to them or like if there's a new makeup person, but they all look like plastic. Or is it just me?
Don't know what you mean there.
Okay.
I don't know what you. I just I don't know what you mean there. So
Okay. Just Becky looked like an alien, and Alexa Bliss just looked like a, I don't know, mud. Anyway,
yeah, I can't help you on that one. I don't know what. I don't pay a lot of attention to the makeup stuff, so I couldn't help you there.
you don't pay attention to how the ladies look.
Mm. They have faces? Just kidding. Not their makeup.
Like Becky almost seems like she has a horse mouth. Like I don't know if she had dental work done recently or something. And Bliss just, I don't know. This is it was not their best night. Anyway, um, Damage Control attacks Lynch. They power bomb her poorly through the announce table. They really drove her through that table. They were making sure that that thing collapsed. Io Sky sold an injury after delivering the power bomb for some reason. Didn't quite
Did you
understand
see
that.
how she hit the table?
No.
Well, she sold that injury because she like folded up on the. She like her midsection was right at the crease of the table, so
Okay.
at the break point. So she
So that may have been
she sold it
legitimate.
because she was hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. Well, then I
I was
take
like,
that.
man, they got that little girl jumping up on that table like that
Well, they
for
could
the power
barely.
bomb spot.
Both of those girls could barely lift Becky. It was awkward looking. I don't know. It looked like they
Well,
were.
at least they got her through.
It looked like they were struggling a little bit. And Becky's. She looks like she's 80 pounds. She looks like she needs to eat a cracker or something.
Probably.
Anyway. Um. After that, Bliss hits the Sparkle Splash onto Nikki Cross for the win. So we get Baley versus Alexa Bliss next week. Hooray. By the way,
Yes.
the 10 p.m. hour of Raw was the least watched hour in the show's 30-year history. That included this monstrosity of a match.
That is correct. And also, Raw had its lowest rating in history as well.
Yeah.
So, a bunch of history being made over on Raw.
They should probably not. They should probably not end
Not,
the show with a second triple threat women's match. Just my suggestion. You could probably lose Corbin and Alpha Academy. We need to like go over the roster one of these days. Like the motherfuckers that they show over and over and over and over again on Raw and SmackDown, and they have the same matches. Like I bet there's people on the roster that would be a hell of a lot more entertaining. At,
well, I
at
don't know
least
what it
mouthpiece
is.
mcfingerbang. Everybody would be more
I don't,
entertaining than him.
I don't know what it is. It's just like the two sides of like Raw and SmackDown. It's like the shows are booked by two different teams or something because they're such night and day.
I guess
Raw
they
is so good. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoa, what did I say? Raw is so bad. SmackDown is so good.
they kind of seems like the
Or
same shit.
I don't know. Maybe the energy level is what makes it different.
Well, do you want to jump into SmackDown?
Yeah, we can do a quick SmackDown rundown.
Yeah. So, um, just like Raw, we open with the tag match. It's Sheamus and Mouthpiece McFingerbang, the most vanilla, smallest, uninteresting wrestler in all of WWE,
Is that
versus
part of his name now, or
yeah,
oh,
versus
okay, that's a long name.
and it may change to various degrees because
Like that's a
yeah.
long name to go through.
um yeah, it's versus the Usos, and yeah, just like how Raw opened. Cole suggested that Riddle was at a disadvantage at one point because Kevin Owens took over for Elias. Like he said, "Oh, that put a twist in things when Elias was taken out of commission." Like, well, Riddle got Kevin Owens. If anything, if anything, the Usos were at a disadvantage at that point, right?
Yeah, and they didn't know that they were getting that opponent.
Exactly. So it just seemed odd, like they're not paying attention. Match was fine, just as you would expect. I skipped the 10 beats spot, as I will going forward, because that's stupid. I noticed that Mouthpiece McFingerbang was the smallest and tiniest person in the ring. Also, the most uninteresting.
You forgot Vanilla.
And he's vanilla.
Hey, if you're gonna say the name, you gotta say it all each time.
Call him Extract. He's so vanilla.
That's gonna lead to there. it brings me to a point where I need to mention later on SmackDown.
Okay. Um, Sheamus is the only person in WWE apparently that knows how to do an apron move because he did the white noise to Jimmy, and it was great. So Sheamus can do an apron move. Nobody else can ever.
Yeah.
I noticed that Cole called the Celtic Cross the Razor's Edge. He's only been there for what, 20 years? Sokoa Joe takes out other guy on the floor. Then the Usos hit the 3D on mcfingerbang to win the match. And yeah, this is where Sammy prevents Sheamus from breaking up the pin.
Yeah. This was pretty much the insert different people, same thing, same template for Raw and SmackDown. Usos start the night with a tag team match and they win.
All right. After that, we get a teaser for Kurt Angle's birthday celebration. So we know that the WWE is actively letting us know that it's only going to get shittier from here on out. They're
Like this is all you got to look forward to.
uh, hope you like that because this is what we got for you.
All of our eggs are in this basket, so
Don't you want to see Kurt
please.
Angle's celebration? So then we get to LA Knight coming out with his theme music. Addresses Bray Wyatt. Shows footage of various of him in various positions of discomfort and pain. Captain Howdy does a spooky promo, says spooky things. LA Knight goes after Wyatt in the back. We'll look forward to seeing him get mangled later. Which, fast forward, spoiler alert, they do this little thing where he's looking for Wyatt in the locker room and the lights go out. So he does the thing where he was it the lighter or a cell phone? I can't remember.
The lights go out and then he holds out his cell phone.
Okay, so it's a cell phone. See, if I did, it'd be a lighter because that's cooler. But anyway, um, was there two figures? Did I see that right? Or was it just the one?
Um, I would need to watch it again. I thought it was one,
Okay,
but there might be two. Um, because what I did notice to to call out this segment, what I did notice is the masked character had blue eyes this time, as opposed to the red eyes that they usually have, indicating that it might be a different person.
well, Captain Howdy has the blue eyes.
No, the black phone character. Usually he has red eyes, but this
Oh, does
time
he?
the person
Okay.
had blue eyes.
Well, that's a good catch. I wouldn't have caught that.
The only reason, I'll be honest, the only reason I noticed is because um, the when I did the thumbnail, yeah, I'm pulling back the curtain here. When I made the thumbnail for the Wyatt Six, I spent a lot of time highlighting the red eyes to make them really glow.
Okay.
So it, that's why I noticed that it was red, but
Huh.
this time it was blue.
Well, all right then.
There
So
you go.
yeah, but
That's
then
showing how the sausage is made there.
then does the horror movie thing where the it just goes out. So we'll see what happens. Do you think LA Knight will be a Wyatt Sixer?
No, I think he's going to be the first person to wrestle Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
You got a lot of people saying that he's basically saving Wyatt's career. I don't know what that means, but he definitely is a megastar. Number one. Number two, he said something funny when he was showing the clips of him getting beat up. He
Yeah.
said, he said that's snuff. This isn't a snuff film.
Yeah. It's very old school uh, delivery there. I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Uh,
yeah, he's definitely keeping this thing going.
Somebody has to. You can only do so many spooky promos.
And he's the megastar, so there's that too.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll need to watch that Bray segment again because I did. If there was two people, that's kind of an important thing to notice. So I'll need to see it again.
Okay.
Like
Um,
that's a major story if there was two people.
well, I don't know. I could have been they could have just flashed on LA Knight's face and I may have just been mistaken. I don't know. I was kind of in and out of my attention. So fast forward to the parking lot. Blah blah Fanta Fanta is out there, and it looks like they're about to wrestle the Viking Raiders. Then you hear some loud screaming. Then you do the cops run, the cops camera run. Then you see Shotzi just sitting, crying, holding her arm in pain. Then we cut to lousy Ronda Rousey and Baszler. They're laughing. Oh, you don't know what happened. All you saw was her in the parking lot screaming in pain. You don't know how it happened. Whatever.
They're just
um,
continuing their whole bully segment or
I, I thought it was
angle.
I thought it was confusing. I thought it was very rushed. I didn't think it made any sense unless you've been like paying super close attention. Um, and yeah, as soon as Liv Morgan appeared, I skipped it.
Um, Liv Morgan.
She comes out and I think she challenges a lousy Ronda Rousey and Baszler to a match later.
Is that what you do during these shows? Just make up nicknames? Is that your thing? You just sit down and like, oh, what is this gonna be?
No,
Um,
they spontaneously come to me. I'm that good.
so there was a thing with Liv Morgan where I don't know if you got the match. I was looking, or I'm sorry, I don't know if the match happens later.
It did.
The match it did.
It was the I guess it was the main event.
Okay, we can talk about it later then. But what I
You
do
can
want to say is there some ridiculousness of Liv Morgan talking about you haven't beat us with her. So she has her tag team partner Tegan Knox, and she's talking to Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, saying you haven't beat us. Uh, okay. How did Ronda get the title again? Who'd she beat? Like, what kind of ridiculousness to have her saying you haven't beat us when she's literally the one that took the title from you?
see now you know I skip it when she comes out because she's
That's number
just
one. Number two,
everything about her is a joke.
she's not doing the um, Cactus Jack bit anymore. It looks like she's just a regular tag team person now.
Oh, that's good because she sucked at it. And
And
apparently Hunter agrees because that was awful.
well, and then the third thing about this, I don't know if it's in order, but I'm going to say it now so I can get my flowers because I was right.
Okay.
So, if I recall, last week I went on this thing about no one knows who the fuck Tegan Knox is, and they're wheeling her out there and expecting this big pop,
Uh-huh.
and no one knows who she is, and she got no reaction. And fast forward to this week, what did they do? They gave her a video package. So it looks like, number one, they may have heard that. I don't know how they would. It was buried in a 3 hour show
Hey, we
that
got
only
we
like
got
10
20
people
whole
watched.
views on that video. I bet Stephanie and company is one of them.
Well, it's just a coincidence that I said that, and then 1 week later she has a video package.
Well, that's what I said about how Auska and Io Sky should do Japanese promos, and the next week they did a Japanese promo, and it was fucking awesome.
Hey, don't try to make this about you. It's about me. I said she needed a video package, and she got a video package.
Okay, but what did it
I said
do?
no one knew. What did it do? It told
Yeah,
us who she was.
we already
It
know who
told
she
us
is.
why her and. No, we didn't.
Yeah,
It
she's
told us
Tegan Knox.
why. It told us why her and Liv Morgan are now teaming up
Who gives a
for
fuck?
for the
Who
for
cares?
the. Is this what it? Is this what you got? I told you you were right when you
Fair enough. You're right. You were right. I was wrong. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I do remember you doing that.
you
Honestly, I thought it was Johnny Gargano's lady. Otherwise, I would have put that in my notes that you finally got your video package for that Tegan Knox character. But
oh
I thought it was
yeah,
the
they look
other
similar.
one. It was the hair.
But yeah, she got her video package, letting us know who she is. So
Okay.
that's all. That's the main part of that.
I don't understand what you were right about.
That she needed a video package,
But why?
and then she got one.
Why did she need one? What did the video package do for her?
It introduced her to the people.
But we already know who she is.
No, see, here we go again, and then you linking her to Brock Lesnar to try to prove her point.
I, I didn't link her to
But you
Brock
really just
Lesnar.
proved my
What
point.
I did was I said that somebody like a Brock Lesnar would come in and just dominate and then go away.
You
You never
said
knew who he was. You
you
didn't know what he was
said
about.
you said she doesn't need a video package. Everybody knows who she is. It's like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And then I stopped you right there.
I said that we don't need to know who she is. That was my contention. Just like we didn't know just like we didn't need to know who Brock Lesnar was. All we needed to know was Brock Lesnar came in and he beat the fuck out of everybody that we love dearly on the main roster.
But we got video packages for Brock Lesnar. Him wrestling in the I don't know, Minnesota.
Eventually, that's when he started wrestling. But when he first debuted, all he was doing was jumping people.
He got no reaction. Well,
He got a
he
reaction.
would have got no reaction. But the fact that he killed Spike Dudley made it made it different.
He would have got a
Like,
reaction regardless.
no, he wouldn't have.
Yes, he would have.
If he did this, okay, if he, someone was getting beat down and he ran out for the save, a la what Tegan Knox did, and you would think he would have gotten a reaction? No, he would. They would have been like, "Who the hell is this guy?" His music plays and
Well,
he
that's the
runs
thing.
out
He
to
didn't.
save.
That's the thing. He didn't have music playing. He would come from the fans, and he would just lay out whoever was in the ring. And yes, he would have gotten a reaction. If he
If
if
he
he
didn't kill Spike Dudley in his debut, then it wouldn't have. He would have just been nobody. Well, I mean,
I
I'm not saying
disagree.
overall he would be nobody,
I disagree.
but I'm saying he wouldn't be the next big thing.
Yes, he
And
would.
he had Paul Heyman, notable
He didn't
character.
have Oh, hold on. Do you have Paul Heyman early on? I can't remember.
Yeah, he debuted. He had Paul Heyman with him.
Okay. He's a big jacked up dude that looks like a Nordic, I don't know,
I I got a news flash for
gladiator.
you. This is wrestling. Everybody's a big jacked up dude that looks like
Not like Brock Lesnar.
someone. Well, Not like if he debuted today, that's different. But back then when he debuted, The Rock, Batista,
Yeah,
they all looked like big
he
dudes.
was more impressive looking than The Rock and Batista. Brock looked like a barbarian.
Okay.
That's why he can wrestle 3 times a year and only do German suplexes.
Why are we talking about Brock? Why are we arguing about Brock? We're talking about Tegan Knox.
Cause you're
You, we're talking about Tegan Knox here.
well, my point with her was we don't need to know who she is. If she's gonna come in with a kendo stick and be the head bitch in charge, then we'll figure out who she is along the way. How are you okay with a slow burn with some spooky
Well, I'm saying they
promos?
didn't do any of that. They already didn't do that.
What are you
She
talking
came
about?
out for a save.
She came out with kendo sticks and beat the I can't remember what she did. I know she came out with kendo sticks and Liv Morgan took him out. I can't remember who it was.
Did she?
Yeah,
I thought Liv Morgan grabbed the kendo stick and she just came out.
I don't know. There was kendo sticks
See, you don't even remember. It was a week ago, and you don't even remember her debut.
because it's women's wrestling. What the fuck do you want from me?
Even more proving the fact that that's not Brock Lesnar.
You are missing the point. What I'm saying is, just like Brock Lesnar's debut, they could just have her come in, beat the fuck out of people, and leave. Then we can. That would make me want to know who she is more than some stupid video package talking about how
Well,
she loves puppies and kittens and everything nice.
we've already passed that. She's already did the debut, and that none of that what you just said happened.
she
So we're back.
she took out
We're not talking about what if. We're talking about what happened.
she helped Liv Morgan take out 2 other ladies, and they were kendo sticks. She made an immediate impact.
I don't know about that. She came
Okay,
out to zero. No one knows who she. Anyway,
that's
we'll
the
move on.
point. Then we figure out who she
We
is.
we were supposed. That's not. She didn't have a. Who the hell is this debut? She had a. Oh my God! It's Tegan Knox debut.
Well, that's because the commentary sucks. That's the commentary's fault.
No,
Yes.
they. First of all, Michael Cole has been doing this for 30 years, and you would think that if they want him to get something over, he's gonna get it over.
Michael Call also
Like
called
he
the Celtic
knows
Cross the Razor's
he's.
Edge. So, come on.
Well, he's a professional.
Okay.
If they tell him, look,
He
this
also
is how you're
called
gonna react to this
he also
person.
called Sasha Banks Sasha Grey.
Isn't that a prawn star? I don't
Yeah, it
know.
sure is. She was great.
I don't know. I've never seen her. Not saying I don't watch it. I'm just saying
Many
I've never
times.
seen her.
Many times.
Not denying, not not denying any of that. I'm just saying I've never seen her nor
Sometimes
heard of
two
her.
sometimes 2 times in one day.
It's odd that I would just know that she's a prawn star and never heard of her. But I have to check out some of her work for
Yeah. Highly recommend it.
science for the show, for the betterment of the show.
I'll send you some links.
Please don't. I don't want you to send me links of what you like. I really like this one. Watch this one here. This will get you going. And then she's like, what the hell?
the, I really like to do this to myself at this part. I suggest you try it.
Watch this, and you're gonna want to have baby oil next. You want a little bit of candle wax, a car battery, and you're
Uh,
gonna have all these things next to you when you watch. And I'll tell you what which parts to use.
Okay, so back to SmackDown. Uh,
Yeah, I don't need you to tell me how to.
um, blah blah Fanta Fanta versus the Viking Raiders. Nothing really happened. Hit Row interrupts and takes out the Raiders. There's a point where the Hit Row girl is just sitting and laughing on the chair at the entrance ramp, and Viking Raiders are obviously falling for the diversion. Thought that made them look stupid. Uh, Big Bad Mighty Valhalla gets taken out with the weakest super kick I've ever seen. And I can't wait to see these three in a pointless tornado match later on down the road. And sure enough, later on down the road, they announced that they will be in a triple threat match.
Oh,
Hooray.
great. I missed that part, the
Unf-
announcement. But I do want to say this was good. The not hold on. It was good that Hit Row interfered because otherwise this would have been a clear heel versus heel match of the Raiders being heel team and Legado del Fantasma being a heel team. So, and they both really need to win. So, who really would have lost that match? That's number one. Number two, I agree with you. Valhalla, she was flat on her back looking up at the lights after an attack, and she's supposed to be this character who's getting talked to by the gods and yada yada yada. I don't think she should have been attacked. Oh, I don't think she should have been flat on her back looking up at the lights. If she gets attacked, like no sell the attack or something, or do like I don't know, they attack her and they stagger her a little bit, but she doesn't fall or something like that, where she looks like a monster.
Well, the Viking Raiders have been booked, or at least presented relatively strong since they returned. Hit Row has been nothing but a joke. So I don't know. That kind of bothers me that the Viking Raiders would be in any peril where Hit Row is concerned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
So
anyway,
we got this thing that happened. So
yeah,
there was that.
this this happened and will happen again.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Ricochet and Gunther. They're doing a contract signing for the Intercontinental Championship match. Are they having it next week?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I don't. Generally speaking, I don't like contract signings because they're stupid and inconsistent. Like I don't understand why one match warrants a contract signing when another match doesn't.
They were just trying to make it a thing, I guess. I don't know.
But
Like make it a bigger deal.
did he have a contract signing with Sheamus?
No.
Okay.
But it's well, let me take it back. So they're having a contract signing, and by the way, I said there was something I needed to point out later. This is now later. The announcer, she announced Ricochet, and she said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, the winner of the World Cup on SmackDown, or the winner of the World Cup from SmackDown on Fox or something like that." But the whole thing. Every time she said it, she said that whole thing.
Okay.
So the World Cup on SmackDown on Fox.
Okay.
Like that was the title of the tournament he won.
That's what you were right about?
No.
Oh.
I was right about the Tegan Knox thing. I was saying you you have mcfingerbang with that long name now,
Oh, I see.
and I was just saying the World Cup on Smackdown on Fox is now the name of that tournament he won.
Gotcha.
Like they have to brand Smackdown on Fox on it. But um yeah, because they were trying to build up that, and it, that also we can say, or I could say, that also builds the whole maybe they have Ricochet win next week because they're making such a big deal that he won this World Cup thing
I don't know.
that they pay it off with him winning the title.
But then when you do it with Gunther, you can't have
You send him to the main event scene
you can't have your
because
best
Braun Strowman.
you can't have your best generational wrestler without a piece of gold on his shoulder. That's just wrong.
Well, Braun Strowman's going to cost him the title. That's going to make it him and Braun Strowman the a main event level feud, and then they'll be able to do that without a title. So now you don't automatically know who's going to win because if it's for the title, you know Braun Strowman's not winning the title.
Okay. I guess. I will have to see how it plays out. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know about Ricochet and like Ricochet is really corny to me. I don't know what it is. Like his matches are fine. Um, obviously the stuff that he like his aerial stuff is impressive, but like I don't know, man. His delivery.
Yeah, he's definitely a weird person.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I don't know, he's probably colder than me, but he says things and it's like, oh, that sounds weird.
right, he's just
He
sounds
tries
really
to be
awkward
cool.
and yeah, he's kind of like a geek trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Um, so New Day comes out, so you immediately know that there's going to be a six-man tag match at some point. Um, it's kind of amazing how the performers, quote unquote, are the bad guys in AEW, while they're the faces in WWE. You know, Jericho does, I'm a sports entertainer.
Oh, it's amazing. What about them saying that whole thing?
The
Oh,
we are
we're professional
wrestlers.
wrestlers.
Yeah, it's great.
We're not performers. And then yeah, and that's pretty much the whole thing over in AEW,
Hmm.
sports entertainers. Like when he said when he said we're wrestlers, we're not. I thought he was gonna say sports entertainers, and I almost kind of wish they did, just to like blatantly let you know they're ripping off AEW. Like don't get it twisted. We're ripping you off. Like sports entertainers,
Is it
and then
ripping off if you're doing it a lot better?
doing what a lot better.
I would take Gunther just sitting staring out a window versus the best Chris Jericho match in AEW.
Well, Gunther is the professional wrestler, so you
And
would be you would
Jer-
be taking the New Day over Chris Jericho, and
well, Jericho's the sports
haven't done
entertainer.
any of that yet. Right. So the sports entertainer, you're comparing. Just move on. This is
Okay,
confusing.
thank you. Because
We would need a diagram for this one.
um, so so Gunther and Imperium, they all were getting insulted, um, and they stayed calm. At one point, the New Day called them impotent. However, there was one time where Gunther lost his shit, and this was when Ricochet did the dastardly thing of saying that he's gonna win next week.
Yeah, that's what ticked him off.
He slams his hand on the table and says, "Who do you think you are?" Just thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, that's what got him. Not
Yeah,
the not the prior stuff.
right.
That's what you get upset over.
As far as the match, it was all right. Um, I don't know why you would. I don't know why you would have the people that are going to wrestle for the Intercontinental title in a match before that match happens.
Oh, that's a Vince McMahon special right there.
Yeah, it just bugs me.
Like, oh, they're about to wrestle next week. We better put them in a tag team match the week before. At least we didn't get a can they coexist match
Right, that's true.
before the title match.
Can they work together even though they've been saying all this shit about each other for the past month?
Yeah, even though Gunther's clearly a heel.
um, Ricochet hits the shooting star press on Kaiser for the win.
Yeah, I
Bleh.
did like though that Gunther said like he was gonna give him the worst beating that he's ever gotten, and nothing can save you from that. Or like, I'm gonna give you the most brutal beating you've ever gotten, and nothing can save you from that.
He's
It's like,
just
whoa! If someone tells you that before a fight, it's like, whoa! I'm gonna mangle you.
I don't know, man. There's just something about him. Like he's not like impressive physique wise. He's not like 8 feet tall, but he just radiates with just awesome.
Yeah, he's just at the perfect presentation.
Yeah. So we get a Bloodline backstage promo. It just ultimately boils down to Jay telling Sammy to get a haircut. So
Yeah,
something big might be happening on Monday regarding Sammy.
yeah. The tribal chief is coming back, so Jay tells him to get a haircut. There's rumors that they're also going to be debuting new titles. Um, well, the same titles, but with black straps instead of the red and blue. Maybe
Okay.
just one set of titles too. That's on the rumor mill.
Okay. For the tag champions or for both?
Yeah, for the tag.
Okay. Well, good. After that, we get a Rey Mysterio and Karrion Cross backstage thingy. I guess Rey Mysterio hurt his ankle. Karrion Cross tells him about a horse that he had to put out of his misery, and I guess he was alluding to Rey being that horse in some weird metaphor. Then some goons come to check in on Rey, and Karrion leaves peacefully. Also, Scarlett is from Romania. She
There you
has
go.
And then we have Liv Morgan, and I don't give a fuck. I think that was Liv Morgan, Tegan Knox, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler match. I skipped right over it.
If I can give you a quick rundown, Raquel Rodriguez, she runs out and or she comes out. And by the way, she still has her broken arm thing going on. So she's
Well,
in
that's
a
okay. She's the strongest woman ever.
well, she's in her sling, and she comes out, and that's enough of a distraction because Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey are afraid of someone in a sling. The two baddest women on the roster are afraid of one woman in a sling arm. Causes enough of a distraction to for Liv and Tegan Knox to get the win off of a roll up.
Okay.
This also somehow, because of they won one match, has earned them a title match on Monday, I believe.
Title match for what? To Dakota Kai
The
and Auska.
women's, yes,
Oh, okay.
off
Okay.
of one match.
Okay. That that sounds like tag team booking in the WWE. Not just tag team, just booking. Lacey Evans apparently is still Clint Eastwood. And then finally, we closed the show off with Angle's birthday. And at that point, my night was over because I am not watching that shit.
um, the angle segment, quick rundown of it. uh,
Of course, you watched it.
yeah, so the angle segment, he goes out there. Immediately, the Alpha Academy, they come out to interrupt, and they said that they didn't get invited. They start running down Kurt Angle, talking about the crowd's right, he does suck, and Kurt Angle. Oh, they they say they're gonna steal his cake, so they start eating the cake. Kurt Angle leaves the ring. He gets a he he leaves the ring, gets a milk truck, and the milk truck is like from the 1940s, 20s, and he starts throwing milk at the Alpha Academy, and then he gets the hose and sprays them down with milk. Yes, they recreated his milk truck segment. Um,
Which they've done before, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably it was I I found it funny. And then of course it was a good
Which says
like
a
a
lot about you, my friend.
well number one it was a nostalgia thing. It's like oh yeah I remember when he did that and they're doing it again. And then number two you have Michael Cole the whole time he's making milk puns and the fact that he kept going with them, then I finally bust out and found it funny. Uh, yeah, and that's how SmackDown went off the air
Okay.
with Michael Cole saying that was legendary.
All right. So,
I was gonna throw a milk pun out, but I decided against it. So there you
gotcha.
go. I said no, I'm gonna keep that one.
I'm glad you restrained yourself.
It was hard though. You heard me pause for a while because I was really thinking about breaking it out.
Right, right.
I just really struggled there.
Well, on behalf of our subscribers, I just want to thank you for your consideration.
Um, yeah. So that was SmackDown,
That was our week in
and
wrestling.
then well, we still have AEW.
Oh shit, we did, don't we?
Um, I really the one thing that stuck out on AEW was there was a MJF and Ricky Starks promo
Uh-huh.
for their match that Ricky Starks going to be losing next week.
I actually saw that.
Um,
Good, I can contribute.
so yeah, so the promo again you had MJF. He came out. He started talking about. Uh, he ran down the fans. He called Ricky Starks a dollar store rock. Well, he said dollar store Dwayne. He couldn't say the rock, of course. And he said, "I'm going to start calling you Pebble." At that point,
The Pebble.
yeah. At that point, I was like, "Well, good job. Now he's buried Ricky Starks." But then Ricky Starks came back from the promo. Um, I would say he cut the best promo that he's probably ever cut. Um, he went into this thing about he made it about himself. He didn't really he called MJF a fifth rate rowdy golly Roddy Piper. Um, talking about, oh, you come out, you insult the fans, you keep reaching for the low hanging fruit. You're running out of that. And then he talks about how he slept in his car and in South Austin because they were in Austin, and he's not he's not ashamed of where he came from. Oh, because MJF alluded to him being in, or he said you can go back to wrestling on YouTube, NWA on YouTube,
What he said
because that's
was,
where you belong.
he said he was going to start calling him the Pedal, and he said he was going to skip his scrawny little pigeon-toed ass all the way back to NWA and Billy Corgan, where he can wrestle on YouTube where he belongs.
Yeah,
Damn. He
and
called
then yeah,
he called Daniel Bryan a coward as well. Um,
oh yeah, because he wasn't there.
right. Um, you couldn't tell that he was wearing a custom belt at all. At least I couldn't.
Yeah, and then Ricky Starks he did the thing. He said that he used to sleep in his car. He does it for this lady in the front row, which was I assume was his mom, so he can buy her a house. He then runs down he runs down MJF talking about he has a shitty scarf, his nose is too tanned, his shoes are
Well,
crap.
he said his nose was too dark. I think he was alluding to him being a brown noser. But he did
Oh,
run him down from his haircut to his shoes.
yeah, and
Said his
then
shirt's too small.
and it's never ironed.
Yeah.
Um, and then there, there was something else that he said,
I know he said
but
I know he said Patna, which
oh, he did say partner.
that just turned me off the whole entire promo. You say it was his best promo. Well, if that was his best, then his other promos must really suck. Anybody that uses Patna, and then
That's
you, and
that's just some soul for you,
then he does the same old tired.
mayonnaise.
And he does the same old tired promo. I do this for because I love it. I had to sleep in my car, the same car that ran over Paige that one day. And then, yeah, I just don't know why he's popular at all. They loved him. He
Well,
said everything about
yeah,
you,
that's it.
MJF, screams cheap, from your suits to your shoes to your heat.
Well, I say it was his best promo because he like nailed every line. He didn't stutter on anything, and it was a fiery promo. And
Okay.
then, um, and then right after which, after his promo, MJF and his his grand comeback to the promo was just to kick him in the nuts, which was great.
Yeah. Then he fucks up though, because he stays. He tries to attack Ricky after that, and then he runs into a spear.
Yeah, yeah, they could have left it at just getting kicked in the nuts.
He should have kicked him in the nuts and then walked away while Ricky Stark was writhing in pain.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Just leave him there.
Because it doesn't seem like much of a reign of terror if the guy immediately pops back up to spear you.
Well, we know he's not winning next week, so there you go.
No way.
They're doing their best, but he's not gonna win. And that was pretty much all that really happened on AEW.
Yeah, Regal
uh,
had a final message. which
I,
was
I ignored that.
okay.
It didn't even make sense.
Thank you. Because he's like, keep your eyes in the back of your head and always look in front of you. Like, so what does that have to do with you handing brass knuckles to the guy out?
Yeah. Oh, MJF. I wanted. He wanted to be the guy on top, so I gave him what he wanted. But I also taught you a lesson, Moxley, to never trust anybody. Like that. What?
Yeah,
Like, so you rewarded him to teach me a lesson? That doesn't make sense.
it didn't.
It's kind of like they just rushed that out because
They did
the whole Regal leaving thing.
because they clearly did.
Like, they could have just, they really should have just left it at last. That's why I say I don't even count what happened, and I just left it at last week when he got knocked out, and that was his write off. Not
Yeah.
saying he needed to get killed like Eric Young, but a good write off was him getting knocked out, and then we just never hear from him again.
Oh, God forbid, like the standard way of being written off is you literally die. Well, not literally, but your character dies,
Well, you can't do that. Eric Young can never go back to TNA now. Like, that bridge is burned
right?
because he's been killed. Unless they do some kind of Michael Myers. Oh, it wasn't me that got stabbed. No, it clearly was you. Or yeah, you stabbed me and you thought I was dead. My heart stopped beating, but actually I didn't die. Like, I don't know. You just can't bring him back from that. So like that's so definitive to kill someone off. Like you can never hire them again.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's retiring soon. Then this is his
Well,
last run.
rumor mill says he is going back to WWE. So
Yeah, which we talked about. Check out our
yeah,
video. We
maybe.
released right about this topic that we're chewing our food twice on.
Yeah, how did we get back there? Oh, Regal.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was your AEW review ish.
AEW
Nothing really happened
snapshot.
on the show. Yeah, nothing really happened on the show outside of one thing. We're not gonna do like a play-by-play of the whole night, so there you go. And we try to keep the AEW thing short for you.
Yeah. That is until Tony makes it easier for folks to access his product.
So let's talk about a couple stories here on our way out.
All right.
Um, the first thing I wanted to point out is I kind of teased it at the beginning. We have a WWE former champion that is going through seemingly a gimmick change. That person being Auska. She is teasing on her social very heavily that she is going back to Kana, who I know nothing about other than the fact that it's some kind of dark character of hers and that she wears clown makeup.
Okay.
But on her socials, she's been posting like
What is the
herself
makeup that
putting
she
on
wears now? Is that not clown
Auska
makeup?
makeup.
Okay.
No, no, this is like legit clown makeup.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I guess it's like a rendition of the Joker, Dark Knight Joker.
Huh.
I mean, I guess that's the only Joker now. There's not another Joker now, but
Well, if that happens, we're definitely not getting that Io Sky match.
oh, could she be Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, she's teasing that. She even put like, so she posted like a video package of her highlights as Asuka. Uh, she posted a thing that said goodbye, Asuka. And she posted a thing of herself putting, or I'm sorry, the goodbye Auska was with herself, like she was in a mirror putting on the makeup of Kana, and something else about this world is shit. That was another tweet that she put out. So she's definitely teasing a gimmick change. Again, I know nothing about Kana, but it is something to mention.
Well, I mean, it certainly couldn't help. She's kind of a joke right now, so a fresh coat of paint would do her good. The only thing I would suggest is maybe have her go away for a couple months so we have time to miss her. Don't just immediately repackage her.
Yeah, just show up the next week.
Right. Who is she? Mia Yim?
Yeah, that would be good. Um, Next story. That was a light story. Not too much to add there. Tony Khan has confirmed, and we kind of talked about it already, that William Regal is going back to WWE. He did a conference call before Ring of Honor Final Battle, where, um,
He
and
talked.
I would say, go ahead.
He went into great detail about his personal life. Um, talked a lot of irrelevant information as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he set the stage, right? It was a story. The story was his mom had a stroke and he was in the hospital. While he was in the hospital, Regal at that very moment asked him
To talk.
to go back to WWE. Yeah,
Yeah.
that he wanted to go back to WWE to work with his son. And I guess my takeaway from it was because Tony was in that vulnerable state, he pretty much granted him the release. So as of 2023, William back to WWE. One thing that Tony did mention that I don't see a lot of people mentioning is that he stated that William Regal can't be on TV until 2024, which is another year away. So
Which they don't need him
yes,
on TV
William.
anyway, so
Yeah,
it's okay. They'll be all right.
well, they'll be all right, but they took the option off. Um, but yeah, you talk about a 90-day no compete. What about a whole year's worth of non compete? Like, oh yeah, you can go back, but you can't be on TV though.
But he doesn't need to be
Um,
on TV. Like, it'd be one thing if it was CM Punk or something,
well, he might
but
have tried to do a general manager thing or something,
they
but it's
they
all
don't
off the
have one
table. He's not
now.
going to be on TV.
They're just going to introduce a general manager character now out of the blue.
Why not?
Uh, Is it going to be the same night that Asuka turns to Kanta or whatever? Just, just
It'll,
do it all.
you know, well, they got these. I'm assuming that after January, like as we gear up towards Royal Rumble, if not then like definitely after WrestleMania, I'm assuming that there's going to be a big shakeup, and that's when a lot of things are going to be changing. Hopefully, because they got to do something with Raw.
Yeah.
So I think they ride it out to WrestleMania. Then after WrestleMania, maybe they will draft or something to shake it up. As Mr. Man says, we got to shake things up a bit. So I think that's the way to go there. Um, and
Well,
then also,
you know me. I'm advocating for a unified roster, especially if you're just going to use the same people over and over again.
yeah, I could see that. Um, and then also Tony Khan, he mentioned that ROH was going to be less involved on Dynamite. This comes off. of people complaining about too much ROH on Dynamite. There was a press conference tonight that I didn't get to hear, so I'm gonna have to listen back, see if anything newsworthy came out of that. Because Tony Khan did say he's kind of been hinting that maybe they've gotten a TV deal. So I don't know if anything like that got announced tonight. Um, Tune in next week and you'll find out from us. Don't look anywhere else. Just hear it from us.
So you indicated that the AEW fans were wanting more Ring of Honor, right?
Well, they want Ring of Honor as its own entity. They don't
Okay.
want it on Dynamite anymore.
So they're getting what they want then.
Yes,
Okay.
they're getting what they want, but are they though? That's the question. Because people don't want it. They, they don't want ROH on TV, not because they want to watch ROH, but because they don't want to watch ROH on Dynamite. So, if ROH does get its TV show, are people going to flock over there? It's just a thought I had.
I guess it depends on how much they like ROH. And
It's
you'll
like,
you'll know how seriously that they're going to take it if Cesaro beats Jericho. If Cesaro beats Jericho, then it's just going to be buried.
well, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I happen to know that he did beat Jericho off of a Cesaro swing, no less. And Chris Jericho tapped out to it.
That's dumb.
Well, I guess the spot was that he wasn't going to stop swinging until Jericho tapped out. So he tapped
Okay.
out. um, on the note of, well, I guess that's all really the Tony Khan news that we have. Again, there was a press conference tonight that I have to go back and listen to, so we'll see if anything else comes out of this whole thing. Um, yeah, that's all we really have for Tony Khan. Talking
Okay.
about Braun Strowman, though.
Oh boy.
So, Braun Strowman, he says that he will be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns.
He did say that. Well, he suggested it. I don't know if he quite used that phrase, but um, he said,
You got
"Look
it
at me."
pulled up there?
Yep, yep. He said, "Look at me," and look at me, and look at a lot of guys that I get to step in the ring with. I wouldn't want to have to fight me, fucking asshole. Any opportunity that was me, not him. Any opportunity I have to go out there and get that chance at winning, getting that opportunity at the title. I mean, let's be real. It's about time that somebody takes those off Roman Reigns' hands. The monster just might have to be the guy to do it.
Okay.
So the guy that can't
So,
beat Ricochet is going to dethrone the tribal chief.
yeah, it does seem like it's a ridiculous statement, but it also seems like that's just a in character statement.
Kinda, yeah. But
Um,
it's he was in character when he did the flippy floppers, according to him too. So
well, no, he wasn't. he might he might say he was, but he wasn't.
so,
Mm,
so I'm
Um,
gonna hold him to that same standard. And even if it was in character, his character's stupid because his character just lost to Ricochet. His character should be thinking like, "Oh, I'm the monster among men, and I just lost to a flippy flopper." Roman Reigns
yeah.
should be the furthest thing from his mind.
Well, my thing is Roman Reigns beat him for the title.
Well, that
So
too.
we have again. we have again someone talking about, oh, I could be the one when you were the one that he beat to get in the position in the first place.
Just somebody else that's not paying attention to their goddamn show they're on.
Yeah, like, did you? And maybe he did forget that he was the one that got beat.
I mean, he was
Or,
running
well,
another company.
he didn't get beat alone. Bray Wyatt was also there, but they got beat. So why are they? Why are they? Why is he saying he's going to beat Roman Reigns now? It's
Who
just a
knows?
weird thing to say. But
Seems like
then you also
everybody's
have
doing that.
Theory talking about it. So yeah,
It seems like that's the new streak, the Taker streak. I could be the guy that invented Taker streak.
yeah. I guess thinking about it, the one thing I do like is, they're saying that they can do it. If that's believable or not is one thing, but they're not saying, "Oh, they ain't gonna be me." Like,
Well, Theory did.
you want to be.
Theory said it weeks before he decided, oh, no, no, now I'm ready.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you want to. You want the guy to believe that they can be the guy, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying there. If you don't believe you can be the one, then why are you even there? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't believe you can be the one, let me give you a scenario. Quick little scenario here. So in the NFL, the Cowboys are 10-3 or 9-3, 10-3, 9-3. I don't know. They only have three losses. Okay.
Okay.
As the stars are aligning right now, and I don't see anybody talking about this, so that's another thing. But as the stars are aligning right now, they are one to, or I'm sorry, they're building up to have to face Tampa Bay in the first round, and you have Tom Brady, who's never lost to the Cowboys. So, but my point with all this is, if you ask them if they believe they're going to win, I'm pretty sure they're going to say, yes, they're going to win. They're not going to say, oh, well, we've never beat them before, so I don't think this is going to be the year.
So you're saying it's like that cornerback that comes out of college and immediately says he's better than DeAndre Hopkins or that he can cover him like no problem. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, what's he supposed to say? He can't?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I guess that was my long way of explaining that. Well, while we worry about retention, then take the longest way to explain it I can.
Well,
But that's what I'm just saying. Like,
I guess I
you want to be around people who believe they can do it.
I guess I can get that. And Braun doesn't fall into the category, but I still can't get past theory saying that there's no way in hell he'd beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
And then Braun, like realistically speaking, like I understand that there's confidence, but there's also realism. Like if you're a fighter and you can't beat somebody for like one of the lower titles that isn't taken all that seriously, then like what makes you think that you stand a chance for against the top guy?
yeah. It's definitely a weird thing.
I mean, if I lose a fight to CM Punk, I'm not going to challenge Nate Diaz afterwards. I could beat Nate Diaz. It's about time for me to put him in his place. No, that's not how it works. Just I don't
Yeah.
know. And again,
No, I get what you're saying.
that goes with them. They're treating it like a performance as opposed to a sport, and they don't take it seriously.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that. Um, just real quick, another thing on the rumor mill. Sasha Banks is apparently, this hasn't been confirmed, like, and by confirmed, I take confirmed as like showing up on the website. But apparently, Sasha Banks is going to be wrestling in New Japan Pro Wrestling for their Wrestle Kingdom, which I think is like their WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's their big Tokyo Dome show. It's the one that Meltzer
Yeah,
gets the extra lube for.
yeah. So, and this is taking place in January, and rumor has it is that um, she will be wrestling there, which then makes you wonder about the whole WWE thing.
Um, yeah, I guess so. I think WWE has proven that they don't need Sasha Banks. Um, I think if Sasha Banks thinks that she's going to be treated any better at New Japan than she was at WWE, especially as a women's wrestler, she's got another thing coming. In fact, I just looked at the. I think in November was the first time they ever had a women's champion. So they don't have a long lineage of good women's wrestling. In fact, I think the women's wrestlers that they have are from a different promotion. So
Yeah, they just up until very recently they didn't even have like women wrestling. It was its own. It was Stardom.
yeah. So I mean, good luck, I guess. But I think she's got
Well, I
a.
don't think she's gonna be like. Oh, sorry. I was just saying I don't think she's gonna be full time New Japan wrestling.
Of course not.
Like I don't even think this like oh she's back in wrestling. I think this is just like a one off moment maker type deal.
Okay.
I'm wrestling on the biggest stage in New Japan. Um, we'll see though. But yeah, I don't think that this brings her like back into wrestling and she's gonna sign a contract and you know be a New Japan
So you
person
think it's a one night
forever.
only special attraction type deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that I guess that's different. But
Um,
I just don't see how special of it. Yeah, like as far as the wrestling community, she's a name, but I don't see her. Like I don't see New Japan really benefiting aside from like some small publicity, but it's not going to help them in the long run. I don't think people are going to sign up for New Japan just for Sasha Banks, and if they do, it's going to be a small amount.
well, I think people are gonna watch it just to see. It depends on how soon they announce it,
Hmm.
but I think people will watch it. Um,
They'll watch it, but they won't stay.
well, I mean that's what you do. You get
Okay,
people in. Hopefully, you, that just gives you the opportunity to have people to stay.
I guess. I mean,
Does it, like you're just getting attention. It's kind of like posting TikToks and shorts. All you're doing is getting a chance for people to stay.
I just think she's in it for a rude awakening. She'll
Well,
she'll get to see how other countries treat women.
it ain't gonna be good.
That hasn't been from some of the stories I heard. You
Oh,
got
there you go.
you got Alba Fire coming from a long lineage of Scottish warriors. Well, Sasha Banks comes from a long lineage of credit card swipers. So I mean, there's
Well,
really no comparison.
Snoop did Snoop do that or something?
What?
Swipe a credit card.
I have no clue. That just sounded good to me.
Oh, okay.
I assume she grew up in the suburbs. Yeah, that's it.
I don't even know where to go from there.
No.
um, yeah, that kind of you took the train off the rails there.
Oh, what's wrong with the suburbs?
No, the credit card swiping thing.
Oh,
um, I guess we can end it on this FTR thing. So it it appears that FTR and the Usos are kind of building towards a feud. I would think this is where this is what's happening.
haven't they? You're talking about the little Twitter back and forth.
Yes,
Haven't they done that before though? Not necessarily
they
with the
have.
Usos, but I feel like they've talked shit to other people in other promotions, and it never really leads anywhere.
Yeah, they have. But this is why I say they're building towards a feud. Um, so the full story here: PWI Insider, the real company, released their top 100 list, and the Usos were named the number one tag team. Number two was FTR. Um, with the year that FTR has had, mainly like wrestling all over the country, having three titles, Dax Harwood putting on like going on like one of the best singles runs of his life. He or they thought that they would have done enough to earn number one.
Not with the
Now,
singles run. You can't be number one tag champions and then factor in your singles run. That's not how it works. You know better, Dax.
well, I'm just saying they're they're just saying their body of work should have landed them number one. Now
But they're
I
hardly
will
on.
point out that this is just like an arbitrary list.
Well, they've been
They don't
hardly
get
featured in the
anything for
promotion that
this.
they work for, though.
Yeah, the Usos have been booked better.
Yeah.
So you agree with the number one ranking of the Usos?
No,
Um,
I don't. But I mean, if you're going to pick between FTR and the Usos, it has to be the Usos because they're on TV.
okay. Um, so so yeah, you have that. The and then the Usos they responded with pretty much calling them some salty ass tag teams. Um, teams with an S because the other team was the Briscoes. The Briscoes they chimed in
I
and
like the
said,
Briscoes.
"Yeah, they're great."
They're my cup of
They
tea.
pretty much saying, I think they may have landed number three, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
And they basically said they did it without TV, like because they can't be on TV anywhere, or they're not on TV anywhere.
it's true.
So basically they said if we had TV, we'd easily be the number one team. Um,
I can't say I disagree with that. Especially, I don't watch Ring of Honor. I don't think I ever have. But if they take their tag team division even remotely seriously, they got a leg up on WWE. That's the only reason why I wouldn't put the Usos at number one. Because, like,
yeah, because of the
what's their
division,
competition?
right?
The New Day?
Well, I mean, I agree with the Usos actually.
Okay.
Finally, the Usos they said, yeah, you got some salty ass tag teams, um, because we're the ones and y'all the twos. In character, of course. Well, I'm sorry, not in character, but using their whole tagline. Um, but I agree with the Usos. If I could borrow from Ric Flair here, so if the and you can agree if the WWE is the top promotion in the United States or in the world, and they're holding the titles, the tag titles, in the best promotion. So you got to put two and two together. That makes them the best.
No, that's
Like
sound
that's
logic.
just
It's just if you're, I don't know, I can't think of a good analogy. It's so late, but like they don't have anybody that they're competing with though within WWE. They're like it's like they're
right,
being
but
handed the tag titles because their affiliation with Roman. It's not because of like outstanding tag team wrestling.
right,
And it's I mean,
you're
they're
right,
good
but
they're good champions and they represent the belts well, but just WWE does not put any importance in tag team wrestling. So the whole division is a joke or the challengers are thrown together like Drew McIntyre and Sheamus almost was. Like Sheamus has three friends that he's with constantly, but you're going to put him with Drew McIntyre for no reason.
yeah,
So and
I mean
that's just a small taste of how they treat the tag division. And for no reason they get a tag match or a tag team title match. So I mean, with the reasoning that the WWE's number one company and blah 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 blah, yeah, I get that, but I mean,
that's not their reasoning though. That's my reasoning.
oh
If you're holding the if you're holding the gold and you're in the number one company, then association you're the best.
yeah, I mean, I get that, but if your only path to the gold is just walking in a straight line, then I don't know, or just reaching your hand out,
Right. Well, they had to defend it all year. They had to be healthy.
right? And it's not the Usos'
And
fault.
all
I'm
that
not
stuff.
saying that the
But
Usos don't deserve recognition. They've been great. It's just if we're just strictly going based on tag teams, it's and it's been a problem for almost all our all our lives that just WWE does not do tag wrestling very well.
right. But yeah. But you have the Usos. They um and FTR. So what I was getting at was they're. It, you're right. They do go after teams. So it it may be nothing, but you add in the fact that you have FTR. Their contract is about to expire, and they themselves have teased not re-signing and just kind of. I would say they're still up in the air on whether or not they're going to resign or if they're going to be free agents or if they're going back to WWE. Like they said themselves, like
They even said they might even
so.
take a year off.
Yeah. So maybe there's not. Maybe they're not building to a feud. Maybe this is just they're just wanting respect. But with them being in the news, with that news that they might be leaving, um, it kind of does make sense that it would also be something that's building towards a New Day versus, I'm sorry, not New Day, Usos versus FTR,
I guess it
I don't know,
depends
mega
on
match.
I guess it depends on how long you want the Usos to stay champion.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
Because
This
aren't
is
the
coming.
isn't FTR out in 2023?
Yeah,
And there's probably that no compete thing,
yeah,
or does that only count when they get released?
yeah, that's when they get released.
Okay, but still, I mean,
And yeah, And then everybody wants WWE to shoot their wad on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as the tag team champions. So I guess, but
Which I don't know why you would want your favorite wrestler to be a tag team champion with the WWE.
I don't know. Maybe they can build toward they have enough teams to build a division that is serious.
Like who?
Um, they have the Viking Raiders,
That's
the
one.
New Day.
One and a half.
You can make the Brawling Brutes a legit tag team. Like
No, you can't.
make Sheamus the singles competitor, and then make them a tag team.
No,
Um,
they're dead.
Legado del Fantasma, Hit Row, Los Lotharios, who've been off TV for some reason. Uh, the Street Profits,
No,
Innocent, Gable, and
no,
Chad Gable. What?
no. Chad Gable has been saying shh for the past however many months he's been saying shush. No way is he going to be taken seriously.
I'm saying that they can make a serious tag team division if they
Yeah,
want
and
to.
if it won't be serious if Alpha Academy's in there shushing people.
Well, so you're saying none of these teams, they just need to scrap this whole teams. And you got the teams in NXT, huh? Huh? Pretty Deadly,
Maybe. I didn't see him wrestle, so I can't say.
um,
They didn't
the
wrestle
Creed
tonight, so I
brothers,
can't.
they weren't on TV.
The Who brothers?
The Creed brothers, they weren't on TV, so you wouldn't have seen them.
Are they related to
Um,
Apollo?
no, they're
Oh,
white.
oh. Well, wait, I don't. You just said I
That
don't know who
guy,
they are.
the yeah, okay, okay,
Come on.
okay.
And why? And why would I think anybody with the last name Creed would be white?
Good point.
Thank you.
But on that note, I think that's a good place to end it. That's like a perfect ending.
Okay.
So, if you agree with anything, let us know in the comments. If you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments. Don't forget the like button on the way out and subscribe.
All right. With that, everybody, have a good night.
Good night, everybody.